Audio from drivers and crews, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency. The RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out.
AHI, and everything in between. Just a really good series, fun vehicle to drive. Got a lot of, downforce on them, a lot of drag, a lot of side force, and you can really hustle these things. The old Ram's not bad. I want to ram somebody. I don't think you can. I don't want to ram them too hard. I don't want to tear my truck up, my hot rod, but I don't think you can drive a Dodge Ram without doing a little bit of Ram damage out there in the racetrack. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. We'll keep an eye on it. What'd you learn about returning to Dover, the racetrack? Of course, there's changes with the resin and everything like that. What's your expectation of what we're going to see here in the race? Kind of as a TV analyst as much as anything else, Clint.
Actually, that's a really good question. It's something that Kevin and I were watching pretty closely in that Cup series, but it was something that I saw right off the bat in this truck. The resin was applied to put rubber in this racetrack a little bit faster, and it definitely amplified that situation. Right off the bat in truck practice, not 10 laps in of my run, it was already starting to build up. The track was getting pretty black, and the truck was starting to answer to that with getting tight, right? Those are all the situations that we do this for, to create some environment for racing action on this high bank racetrack. Really fast racetrack. You got to be able to move it around and adapt. If you don't have any adaptability in this race vehicle, you're in big trouble. Just got done with Cup practice, watched the guys, and same principle applies. That low downforce, high horsepower package really lends to a good environment on this particular racetrack. I think we're in for a treat. Qualifying is going to be a premium. We all know, right, it's hard to pass in this racetrack, and then all of a sudden you add on kind of the motocross. I come from a motocross background, so it's the best of those two, events. You got two segments there, and I don't think you can sandbag. You know what I mean? I don't think you can hold back to try to better yourself in the first, and you better capitalize on any situation given it to you, whether it be the first one or the second one. You're going to need some points, and you're going to have to be up front. Positions are going to be hard to come by here.
That'll be good. Did you say 47 years old? What happened?
I don't know, buddy. We're getting old.
We're still here at the racetrack. That's Clint Boyer. He starts in the 22nd spot.
Driving the free agent truck, Colleague Racing just announced Parker Kligerman will take the reins of the truck that Clint's driving today at the Michigan International Speedway, coming up on June the 6th. Let's talk to one of the series regulars, Gio Ruggiero, driving for Tricon Garage in 2026. Finished Watkins Glen. A very frustrating weekend for him last weekend. The truck has had a lot of speed all year, had speed on the road course, and we expect him to be in the mix today. The 19-year-old from Seekonk, Massachusetts, will start third. Let's get his thoughts in this driver spotlight presented by Toyota Racing. Your race, your story. Be part of the action at ToyotaRacingUSA.com. Back to Chris.
Yeah, and Gio here in his first start at Dover, so I want to get a rookie's thoughts at a place like the Monster Mile. What was it like your first few laps in practice? Did it live up to kind of the hype?
Yeah, it was awesome. Really fast track and a lot of speed here, so...
JB coming across all streams at the moment. Hello everyone on IndyCar and on NASCAR. To those listening on the NASCAR truck race, we just need to refresh some things because it's crashing the OBS. So for your stream to have a good race, just bear with us for a few moments.
Fast, lightweight, and zero latency, the RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at racingelectronics.com today.
From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
When you devour Jack Links, the official real meat protein snack of NASCAR, you could win twice. First, because real meat protein can help boost your libido.
Hey, I've noticed you've boosted your libido.
Thank you for noticing.
And second, because you can enter the Jack Links Eat, Meet, and Win sweepstakes for a chance to win 4 epic NASCAR getaways, tickets, and more at jacklinks.com/NASCAR. Libido boost and people noticing your libido boost may vary. Enter now at jacklinks.com/NASCAR. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 12/31/26. U.S. residents 18 or older. Void where prohibited. Sponsor Link Snacks, Inc.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day, the RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless, that's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
This is Grant Enfinger. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, getting ready for the EcoSave 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Brandon Jones of Joe Gibbs Racing is going to be starting a truck today for Tricon Garage. This will be the second time this year he's done it. The first was at Texas. He finished 4th. He'll start today in 6th. Let's go back to Chris.
It was a really good qualifying effort there for Brandon Jones, who, of course, pulling double duty this weekend. So we were just talking about what translates. So I guess for you, besides winning the race, what is the goal? What do you want to learn for tomorrow's O'Reilly Auto Parts race?
Yeah, luckily we've got a really good, I think, Spectracide Toyota Tundra today. We qualified great. We qualified 6th. It's always unknown for me in qualifying these trucks. It's so much commitment in qualifying and so much on throttle time that I'm not still quite up to speed yet on, but having a really good time with it. I think we've got, like I said, a really good truck to go race tonight. I'm hoping to learn how much this spray that they put down just migrates throughout the day. You know, I think that the grip is going to be high pace for the race this afternoon, but if we do move to the middle lane, I'll know going forward for tomorrow, and I think that'll give me a one-up on the guys that we're racing around. So I'm looking forward to it. I've been chasing a monster trophy for a long time. I want to collect that one, so I hope it's today in the truck, and if it's not, we'll get ready for the O'Reilly race tomorrow.
Yeah, he's got 2 shots at it. That's Brandon Jones starting 6th today. First truck race here at Dover since the KBM days back in 2019.
Where he had 3 top 10 finishes and 5 Dover starts.
Hey NASCAR fans, get the NASCAR app. Join My Reward, and every combo purchase on the app gives you a chance to win an exclusive Talladega experience, race tickets, and other awesome NASCAR prizes. And when the Hardee's number 23 car gets a top 10 finish, we also throw you a code for a free 3-piece hand-breaded chicken tender with a large string purchase. The wins just keep coming. Get the app. Join My Reward, only at Hardee's.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older in the 50 United States or District of Columbia, excluding New York and Rhode Island. A Hardee's My Rewards member with web device. Begins 4/15/26, ends 6/16/26. Rules at hardee's.com/victory lap.
Love NASCAR? Subscribe, listen, and download Motor Racing Network's exclusive podcast series. MRN presents Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, The Rise of Dale Earnhardt Jr. on Junior's Journey. Get to know Jack Roush on The Many Hats of Jack Roush. Meet the King on Richard Petty's Road to Royalty. Dig deep into one of NASCAR's most memorable years, the 1993 season. Motor Racing Network exclusive podcast. Available on MRN.com or any audio podcast platform.
From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Relive the thrills of over 50 years of NASCAR racing with the Motor Racing Network's Classic Race.
36th Annual Southern 500. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN audio vault for unforgettable races and moments.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com and podcast platform.
Fallon Kowicki out of turn number 4, the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across the line.
MRN Classic Races.
Hi, folks. Kyle Petty here. I want to tell you about a place that's dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by making a donation today. Any amount will help kids attend camp for free. Help make a difference by visiting victoryjunction.org/donate.
Join Mike Bagley every week on the Motor Racing Network for the latest news and driver interviews on NASCAR Live.
Back here at the Monster Miles, we close in on opening ceremonies. You know, Mike, this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, this is the halfway mark of their regular season, and it's also their 3rd race in a row of 6 in a row, which will be their longest stretch of the campaign.
That stretch kicked off at Texas Motor Speedway back on May 1st. Carson Hocevar won that one. Caden Honeycutt picked up the win at Watkins Glen last week. We'll race here at Dover. Then it's off to Charlotte next week, then Nashville, then Michigan, then an off weekend, then a trip to San Diego for the triple out there on the Naval Base. 2 more off weekends, and a trip to Lime Rock, North Wilkesboro, Indianapolis Raceway Park, a couple of more off weeks, a trip to Richmond, and then we begin the chase with a trip to New Hampshire Motor Speedway on August 22nd.
Caden Honeycutt is currently the championship point leader, 29 points over the second-place truck of Chandler Smith. Lane Riggs, 43 points in arrears. Then it's Gio Ruggiero and Christian Eckes, the top 5 in championship points.
First time the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series has raced here in 6 years. Kyle Busch, the all-time winner with 4. Nobody else in the field has any wins here at Dover. Will it be Kyle or the field? We're about to find out. Now let's go trackside for pre-race ceremonies.
As you are able, remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as the Delaware National Guard Joint Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer tonight's invocation, please welcome Delaware Army National Guard's Chaplain, William Guy.
Most gracious and loving God, we ask your blessings upon this day, that we may experience good weather and high spirits. We ask that today's race will reflect the highest ideas of professional and personal values, grant to each participant safety, and to those who are spectators a sense of enjoyment. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome, from the Delaware National Guard, Specialist Shanice Manley.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Coming up, the command of fire engines, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series set to tackle the Monster Mile.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected into the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR, from the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR. Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day. The RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com. Back here at the Monster Mile, drivers are climbing aboard their race trucks. Stage links for this 200-lapper. Stage 1 will conclude at lap number 45. We'll go 45 more laps to lap number 90 to wrap up stage number 2 in the advertised distance of lap 200. That's 200 miles in the EcoSave 200. From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
Garcia, you're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Live on the NASCAR Racing Network, it's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Let's get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Pull boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Today, the EcoSave 200 from Dover Motor Speedway. Brought to you by Craftsman, with tools built to power through the mess. You can go from, what have I done, to, yeah, I did that. Head to craftsman.com today. Craftsman, build on. By Hardee's. Get the Hardee's app and join My Rewards, and we'll start you off with a free sandwich. Plus, earn rewards with every dollar spent and order ahead. By Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. By Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco. Performance is what we do. And by Toyota Racing. Your race, your story. Be part of the action at ToyotaRacingUSA.com.
Pole sitter for today's race, Kyle Busch, is the winningest Truck Series driver here at the Monster Mile. 4 times he's visited victory lane. Johnny Sauter has won this event 3 times. Then a whole host of drivers with only 1 win here, including Todd Bodine. Kurt Busch has won here. Hall of Famer Mark Martin, Ted Musgrave, even Tyler Reddick, and Scott Speed. And there's a guy by the name of Scott Riggs back in 2001 that won a race here as well.
Alex, we talk about the challenging nature of Dover Motor Speedway and how it caters to veterans. But in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, there is a list of drivers that have gotten their very first series win, and it came here on the high banks of Dover Motor Speedway. Eric Almirola did it back in 2010. Brian Scott in 09. Scott Speed in 08. Chad Chapman in 04. And Jason Leffler got his first win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series back on May of 2003. So while being a veteran does pay off at Dover, sometimes it's the young'uns, as they say, taking it to the veterans alike here.
And it's a matter of you got to have a comfortability as a driver on a tough racetrack like this because of all the G-forces that come with it. Diving off into the turns, rocketing up the hill, exiting the corners, and you can't be bashful here. You better have a heavy right foot.
And you don't have a lot of time to get the job done. This race is 200 laps. I was talking to Matt Pusha in the garage earlier this morning. He says, depending on how the opening segment of this race goes, if we go caution-free, it could be very well that you can go a lap down in the first 30, 40 laps or so of this race. So you got to get to the whip, you got to stay to it, you got to get going, because the last thing you want to do is get a lap down and not be the free pass car and not be able to get back on the lead lap under a caution flag, and you got to work and bump and grind for everything you get here.
And we don't know how many cautions we're going to have total, but we do know of only 2 caution flags, and that's the end of the stage break. So, you know, it could happen. The most cautions in a Truck Series race here happened in 2005. We had 11 total caution flags, but we know and we're guaranteed 2 today.
We have seen sanitary racing here at Dover. We've also seen rough and tumble racing here at Dover. Question is, what are we going to get today? 64% of this field has never turned a lap in a truck at Dover. Buckle up and hang on. Trackside for the command right now.
Dover Motor Speedway, here to give the command to fire engines with the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome, from EcoSave, Virginia Haskins and her niece, Eva Robertson.
Drivers, start your engines!
36 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Trucks come to life on the pit lane. We'll introduce you to the starting lineup and put the green flag in the air coming up next.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise.
I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires to Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN broadcast, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day, the RE4000 delivers zero latency, so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
Follow along with the Motor Racing Network, Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube.
Now, here's the starting lineup.
Caleb Costner will start 36 today. Spencer Boyd starts 35th. Destiny Spurlock becoming the first black female to ever race in a NASCAR National Series race will start 34th. Then it's Natalie Decker. She'll start 33rd. Tony Breidinger. She'll take her truck from the 32nd starting spot, and Frankie Muniz starts 31st.
Tyler Ankrum will start in 30th with Chris Wright in 29th. Corey LaJoie's your 28th starter. 27th will be Christian Eckes. Justin Haley, 26th. Luke Baldwin will roll off from the starting grid in 25th. Dawson Sutton starts 24th. William Sawalich will start 23rd. Clint Boyer in the free agent truck for the Ram effort for Colleague Racing. He'll start 22nd. And Tanner Gray rolls off in 21st.
Parker Eatman will start 20th. Grant Enfinger goes 19th. Carson Hocevar starts 18th. Brendan Queen will start 17th. Minnie Tyrell starts 16th. Cole Butcher 15th. Chandler Smith goes from 14th, and Stuart Friesen qualified 13th. Stewart will drop to the tail end of the field as they had unapproved adjustments before the start. Ben Rhodes will start 12th, and Lane Riggs will start 11th.
Field is pulling on to the high banks of the Monster Mile for their pace and parade laps. Here are the top 10 starters. Daniel Hemrick will start the race today in 10th. Andres Perez will start in 9th. Ross Chastain making another start in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He'll roll off in 8th with Jay Garcia in 7th. Brandon Jones will start a truck for Tricon Garage in 6th. Christopher Bell's making a start today as well. He'll start 5th. Caden Honeycutt rolls off in 4th. Gio Ruggiero in 3rd. Ty Majeski will start on the outside of the front row. And Kyle Busch won the pole earlier today. He'll lead the field to the green flag after setting a qualifying time of 22.258 seconds with a speed of 161.740 miles per hour.
The Monster Mile, 1 mile in length. It is a concrete surface, and it is symmetrical. 1,076 feet on the front stretch, same with the back stretch. Straightaways are banked 9 degrees, and when they race off into the corners, they don't lift much here at the Monster Mile. To cover all the action for the NASCAR Racing Network for us this afternoon, the anchor of the performance Racing Network. From Fort Worth, Texas, Brad Gilley.
Well, Alex, a lot of times when we head to a high bank racetrack, when they go into the corners, we say they're climbing the banking. It's just the opposite here at the Monster Mile. They dive down into the banking. When they set those trucks up, ideally they're right there on the bottom of the racetrack until it starts to rubber in and move up the groove. When they climb off of the banking, however, onto that 9-degree bank straightaway like they have on the backstretch here at the Monster Mile and on the front stretch, well, that's where things can start to get treacherous. When you run your way up to the outside safer barrier, you want to be right up there, right side door to the edge before you head into turn number 3. Turn number 3 has a bridge over it. It's the Axalta Raptor Coatings Bridge, and sometimes that can create just a little bit of an odd shadow and make it a little difficult for these trucks to find their line. When they dive down into the 24 degrees of banking in turn number 3, they have an option. Do they take the second groove? Do they take a shallow entry and try and diamond the corner to try and lengthen that straightaway? That's a decision they have to make. If they're side by side with another truck, that makes things really tough. When they come around turn 4, either they hit the front straightaway or they come onto pit road. That's where it can become very treacherous here at the Monster Mile.
Sunset has begun here in Dover, Delaware. Sunset time 8:08 p.m. NASCAR sets adverse condition times when tracks don't have lights. Dover Motor Speedway does not have a lighting system, so if for some reason we get tangled up and delayed, the adverse time and the conclusion of the race will be straight up at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Although, Alex, I don't see us having any problems today. Right now, we are bathed and awash in beautiful Delaware sunshine as sunset has begun.
Absolutely right, and this 200-mile race usually clicks off in a hurry. Time now for a final thought before the drop of the green flag from pit road, starting with Steve Post.
Veteran driver Ben Rhodes has 6 starts here at the Monster Mile, including the last 4 where he had top 10 finishes, including a best year, a 4th back in 2017. Had a chance to catch up with Ben this morning. I said, are you in the camp that is happy to be back here? And he just lit up. He said, I love this place. I love running this racetrack. It's a challenging track. We talk about dropping down in the corners, as Brad Gilley just said, racing up off from the corner into the straightaway, and he loves this track. He starts in the 12th spot here, needs a good bounce back after a 32nd place finish at Watkins Glen. We'll be keeping an eye on Ben Rhodes. Chris Wilder.
Well, Steve, post some history this weekend at Dover with 3 women in the field this afternoon. The last time that was the case was Knoxville 2021 with Jennifer Jo Cobb, Jessica Friesen, and Haley Deegan. Today it's Tony Breidinger, Natalie Decker, and Destiny Spurlock. Natalie has the most experience with 15 O'Reilly Auto Parts Series starts and 33 starts in the Truck Series. Tony Breidinger is back with a multitude of ARCA Menard Series starts as well as truck starts. But for Destiny Spurlock, this is start number 1, making history as the first black woman to make a series start. And she has some experience in the ARCA side on the big tracks, but this is her first dance with the Monster Mile. Today she said it's all about finishing the laps, but there are definitely some nerves. Congratulations to Destiny on making her first start here today.
Tip of the cap to the ladies joining us for the proceedings in the Eco Save 200 here at Dover Motor Speedway. We have just gotten the 2 to go indicator, so we're going to take a couple of more laps around the Monster Mile before we turn them loose. You know, Alex, when the trucks raced here beginning back in 2000, it was always the late Friday matinee, 5 o'clock Eastern. That gives a chance for the folks to button up work, grab the kids, grab a cooler, get on out here to the racetrack. There are a lot of camping folks here that have made their way into the grandstands. And, of course, this is just the tip of the racing and broadcasting iceberg this weekend here in Dover.
Yeah, it is. And there's a nice crowd on hand. Now, tomorrow, we'll be back with you in the Motor Racing Network, NASCAR Cup Series pole qualifying, and the Mechanics Wear Pit Crew Challenge at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. You can hear that. Then tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Bet Rivers 200 for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, leading up to the main event Sunday, the NASCAR Cup Series All-Star Race, high noon Eastern Time.
Can't wait to bring you all the coverage this weekend from Dover Motor Speedway. Of course, the month of May, a busy month as far as motorsports is concerned, but all eyes this weekend for full-fendered trucks and cars on Dover, Delaware. And as we work our way next week, it will be Memorial Day weekend, where all eyes will be on Concord, North Carolina, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Alex, before you know it, we'll be turning the calendar page to the month of June.
It's nuts. I mean, my parents always said, boy, time flies. I understand it now that I've gotten up in age. Things really do whip by in a hurry. As Rich Keeter on top of the flag stand gives us the one to go. We'll go green flag racing next time by. Pole winner Kyle Busch will elect to start the race to driver's right on the outside of the front row. That means Ty Majeski will have to go to the inside of the front row for the initial start.
Alex is a lifer. There's nothing like a day spent here at Dover Motor Speedway when the field gets to one to go. Very exhilarating, very exciting, and the questioning of what's next, what's coming up, who's going to take this race by the reins, and who's going to get their arms around this race, because we've seen over the years, especially in the Truck Series, the ebbs and flows, the comers and the goers. Will it be a clean race? Will it be one of those rough and tumble races I was referring to earlier? A lot of excitement in the air as the trucks are a half a lap from going under the green flag.
And they work their way down the back straightaway, lined up 2 by 2. These trucks are pristine. The paint schemes are glistening in that Delaware sunshine. And let's hope that everybody can keep their trucks pristine and fenders in the right directions when the checkered flag flies.
Fingers are crossed, I know, down on pit road, and everybody with hushed breath right now and a lot of excitement as we get set to go this afternoon and bring you 200 laps for the tough trucks of NASCAR. They are lined up double wide behind the pace truck, and pretty shortly that pace truck heads to pit road. It's doing that right now. And with the start of the EcoSave 200 from Goldsboro, North Carolina, here's Alex Hayden.
Field works their way into turn number 4. Rich Keeter on top of the flag stand looks them over closely onto the main straightaway. Green flag goes in the air, and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is racing at the Monster Mile. Kyle Busch's red, white, and blue Chevrolet works to the outside of the highlighter yellow Ford. That truck is Ty Majeski.
Ty Majeski is not going to let Kyle Busch get the lead. He stays pinned to the inside, but as they head into turn number 3, Kyle Busch on the outside. He has the advantage as they race to 4.
He dives it deep into turn number 3, and Busch will slide wide off the corner. Who will lead at the start-finish line? Kyle Busch will lead. Ty Majeski with Caden Honeycutt rounding out the top 3. They begin to stack up from 4th on back.
A couple of those trucks that are stacking up from 4th on back. Bagman, you see Brandon Jones right now. He is running on the outside of Daniel Hemrick. Kyle Busch heads into turn number 3, chased by Ty Majeski and Caden Honeycutt.
Further back, Brendan Butterbean Queen gets crossed up off of turn number 2. Had to roll out of the throttle, got put in the middle 3 wide. That was an unsavory pocket of traffic as the leaders funnel back to the backstretch.
Back and forth, Gio Ruggiero has tucked in front of Brandon Jones. Behind him, you got Christopher Bell, and now you see a truck really running up to his rear tailgate right now. That's Ross Chastain, whose truck is painted like a Delaware police car.
Off the corner, here they come. Further back, Clint Boyer really having a hard time in his Dodge Ram. He about wadded up the field off the end of the back straightaway. He since has sorted his fares out and will tuck in. Leaders off 2 and onto the backstretch.
Kyle Busch now starting to pull away from Ty Majeski and Caden Honeycutt. You have a little more of a gap now back to Gio Ruggiero. Then you have Brandon Jones, Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, and Jake Garcia.
That's the top 8. Daniel Hemrick is 9th. Ben Rhodes currently runs in position number 10. Christopher Bell, starting to get some heat applied to the tailgate of his truck.
And that's Ross Chastain as they come off of turn number 2. Chastain has to back it down a little bit. He is going to run in the tire tracks of Christopher Bell as they dive down into the banking of turn number 3. Chastain continues to chase.
That is the race for 6th and 7th onto the straightaway. Got the first 20, 22 trucks or so. Single file in formation as everybody continues to get their sea legs under them. Let's pick up the battle for 2nd on the backstretch.
And right now, Ty Majeski has it. Caden Honeycutt now drives right up to his tailgate. We're talking about a half a truck length of difference. Honeycutt tries to look low as they head into 3.
Honeycutt now drifts wide up off of turn number 4. Couldn't find any room downstairs. Might as well drift back up topside. Ty Majeski not worried at all as he maintains the runner-up spot.
You get the impression that Caden Honeycutt has a faster truck right now. You've got Toyota versus Ford. Honeycutt now chasing him back into turn number 3. He'll try and look low again. This time, Majeski's going to block. Caden Honeycutt will drift wide.
He'll swing wide coming off the corner and will lose a half truck length in the process. Chandler Smith running in position 15 right now. Chris Wilner, is there a problem on that truck?
Yeah, he reported, Mike, just about lap number 2 of the race that I've got a small vibration. Feels like it's in the right rear. His crew chief, John Leonard, said, well, let's stay out and monitor it, so nothing too concerning, but certainly not a good feeling for Chandler Smith, who started 14th, already lost a position early.
Natalie Decker, one of the 3 females in today's race, having to serve a pass-through penalty right now. She was dinged by NASCAR for a start violation. Changed lanes before she got to the start-finish line. She is going to go a handful of laps down now as we continue to race here under the green flag.
Off turn 4, Kyle Busch will bring him to the line to complete 9. Here's a Kyle Busch stat of the day for you. Kyle Busch has won 13 of the last 16 races when he led the first lap, and he's done it in the last 4. Kyle Busch firmly in control as he rockets up off turn 2.
Kyle Busch very comfortable on the racetrack right now as he continues to pull away from the battle with Ty Majeski and Caden Honeycutt. A little further back, I've been watching Ben Rhodes work his way up through the field. He's running 8th right now, about 6 truck lengths behind Ross Chastain.
Ross Chastain has a clean racetrack in front of him. Same with Ben Rhodes at the moment. And Brad, it almost just seems like these drivers have just feeling out their race trucks early on as we got a battle for second under the bridge.
Caden Honeycutt now drives to the outside of Ty Majeski. Majeski leaves that lane open. Honeycutt able to complete the pass as they go into 3.
Not only will he complete the pass, he'll pull away from Ty Majeski by 2 truck lengths. As they come across the line, the separation between first and second was 1.2 last lap. It's now 1.4. Let's see what Caden can do tracking down the race leader.
Caden Honeycutt, we'll see if he can pull up to Kyle Busch behind them a little bit. We've got a battle just outside the top 5. Christopher Bell putting pressure on Brandon Jones a lap ago. Jones was putting pressure on Gio Ruggiero.
Yeah, these drivers mixing it up here. Again, there's resin that has been applied to the racing surface in the corners, and these drivers are taking full advantage. Here's Christopher Bell to the inside now of the truck of Brandon Jones.
Brandon Jones is not going to let the spot go easily. He thinks about crossing over, now thinks better of it. These trucks are now going to head into turn number 3. Jones right on the tailgate of Bell.
13 laps complete. Kyle Busch has led every one so far. His lead is a second and a half over Caden Honeycutt. Ty Majeski, Gio Ruggiero, Brandon Jones, the top 5. That changes now as Bell will get around Jones to take that 5th spot. It's then Jones, Chastain, Rhodes, Garcia, and Daniel Hemrick, the top 10. So, Alex, we've completed 13 laps. Everything fairly calm so far. It's a little too early to be pushing the point, but it's never too late to push a point here at Dover, considering how strung out this field has gotten, and lapping will begin shortly.
And encouraging to see that there is the ability for drivers to just go up and pass, whether they want to go around the outside, like Caden Honeycutt did for the 2nd spot on Ty Majeski, or to the inside, you can make a pass as well going into the turn, like we saw Christopher Bell do on Brandon Jones. The Monster Mile, awfully racy.
Lapping has begun. Kyle Busch is showing the way, extending his lead now over Caden Honeycutt to 1.7 seconds.
Every DIY project has that oh no moment. The missing bolt, the measured cut, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th trips to the hardware store. That's where Craftsman comes in. Whether you're tackling the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the job done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Head to Craftsman.com today and find the right tools for any project. Craftsman. Build on.
Pack your crew and ignite your weekend. Michigan summers don't whisper, they roar. Camp under the sun at NASCAR's fastest track. The Firekeepers Casino 400. Fast cars, loud engines, and chaos. The ultimate summer kickoff. Michigan never looked this good. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Michigan International Speedway. June 5th through 7th. Get your tickets now at mispeedway.com.
Kyle Busch continues to lead. Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski, Gio Ruggiero, Christopher Bell, the top 5. We've got 27 laps remaining in the opening stage of the EcoSave 200. From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Whelen Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
A colorful career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
This is Corey Hyde. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Back at Dover, lapping has begun in the EcoSave 200. Natalie Decker, Caleb Costner, Destiny Spurlock, Tony Breidinger, Spencer Boyd, and Frankie Muniz have all gone a lap in arrears, leaving 30 trucks on the lead lap at this moment.
23 laps to go here in the opening stage of the EcoSave 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Pretty good racing all the way around this racetrack right now, and we're continuing, Brad Gilly, to see just about every lane beginning to be used here in the corners, so we see trucks starting to go all the way up towards the safer barrier.
Yeah, you know, Alex, one of the more aggressive trucks I'm watching right now, they're heading into turn number 1, has been Christopher Bell. He's been chasing Gio Ruggiero, almost had him in lap traffic, but Bell seems to be the one who's willing to go the highest, at least, on the turn 3 and 4 side of the racetrack. That could be to his peril, however, as Brandon Jones is hoping to take a spot back from him.
That's a good stacking up of traffic from 4th on back coming to the main straightaway. Gio Ruggiero, Christopher Bell. You've also got the truck of Brandon Jones, Ross Chastain, and Jake Garcia are in that mix.
Yeah, this is a pretty good battle now hitting the back straightaway. Gio Ruggiero is running in that 4th spot behind Ty Majeski. Then you have Christopher Bell, and then, as you mentioned, Brandon Jones, Ross Chastain, and I'll tell you what, Ben Rhodes, he's another man on the move. He's on the outside.
Ben Rhodes is a driver that's raced here in a truck before, and he's got all kinds of experience around the Monster Mile, trying to make some headway here in the opening stage of this one. A truck now off the pace. Daniel Hemrick here going down the main straightaway. Not sure what the problem is, Mike, but Hemrick well off the pace.
He is well off the pace. He is on the bottom lane of the racetrack, and it's going to create a tight squeeze coming off turn 2. He is not on the apron. He is at the lowest possible portion of the racing groove, and he came out of the throttle out of turn 4, and that truck looks like it has just lost power, Alex, coasting extremely slowly off the end of the back straightaway.
Not at all what he needed either. He is 9th of the 10 drivers currently that are in the chase, so Hemrick, with whatever kind of a problem he's suffering right now, is getting that truck all the way down to the apron finally to come to the pit lane. So a tough break early on here for Daniel Hemrick.
One of the first drivers to find a trouble area of this racetrack, or at least find trouble with the performance of their truck. Again, as Alex mentioned, he is on the pit lane, but limping very slowly. Pit road speed at Dover, 30 miles an hour. That in itself is slow, and he's going slower than that as he will just limp his truck to his pit stall. All of this going on, lap 28 on the board, 17 to go in the opening stage.
I don't think he's going to make it to his pit box. He's still 15 or so boxes away, and he is now at a snail's pace, is Hemrick, trying to get that truck back to his pit box. Steve Post, any idea what the problem is for Hemrick?
It's just the engine shut off, as you said, and I think now he's rolling the starter to get up off from the racetrack, and he's taking it up actually into the truck garage. So something electrical, I believe, or mechanical on the engine shut it off, and he just tried to get down pit road, and now he's taking it. There's a chute that goes up to the truck garage, and he's taking it up into that garage area. So not what Daniel Hemrick was looking at the start of the 10th here earlier today.
Well, he's trying to get up there. However, he does not have horsepower. He's going to need manpower, because as he turned into that opening to go up the hill, across the horse track, and into the Truck Series garage, the truck has come to a complete halt, and now crew members from his team and other teams are basically going to push him up and into that garage, and that is just a painstaking effort. Daniel cannot be happy behind the wheel of that Chevrolet.
No, and they're starting to undo the tailgate area of that truck. The bed covering, they're trying to take that off, so they're going to go to work. It looks like right there in the chute, around the fuel cell. Not sure if it's a pickup problem or what the issue is, but a lot of smoke now was starting to come out of that truck as they begin to crowd around and try to diagnose what the gremlins are at the back of that truck.
And they've indicated that they're going to push that truck to the garage to figure out what's going on with Daniel Hemrick. He would be the first retiree. 13 to go in stage 1. Kyle Busch leads now by 2.1 seconds.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. All-day access to NASCAR action, streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the greatest drivers. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today. 11 laps to go in the opening stage. Kyle Busch continues to lead. The fastest truck on the racetrack, though, is Brandon Jones from Tricon Garage. He is running 6th. Though it's Kyle Busch, Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski, Christopher Bell, and Gio Ruggiero. From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. You have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
I'm a race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Motor Racing Network's Wayne's Nation. Sprint Car Talk with Steve Post, Aaron Evernham, and Ashley Streving.
With 7 laps to go in the opening stage here at Dover, let's check in on who's getting it done on the track right now. Presented by Craftsman. DIY projects always sound simple until they're not.
Got trouble here in turn number 3. We got a truck now on the inside retaining wall. A lot of smoke coming from this one, Mike Bagley. And it looks like Destiny Spurlock, unfortunately, has some front end damage to that truck.
She does. It's wrinkled up the front of the machine going down into turn number 3. That's an awkward spot, too, because you've already come up off of turn 2, and more times than not, Mike, that means you get a little loose off turn 2 and you fight the steering wheel, correct, overcorrect, and by the time you get to the end of the back straightaway, you're going to lose control of that race truck. Dover's known as a self-cleaning racetrack.
Indeed it is, and that's the last thing you want to get crossed up on your steering. Coming off the end of the back straightaway into turn 3. It's 5 laps to go in the stage, Alex. It's going to be questionable whether or not we can get this stage resumed. If we do not, Kyle Busch would win. Right now, the top 5, Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski, Christopher Bell, and Gio Ruggiero.
And Destiny Spurlock did exactly what we were talking about. Came off turn 2, was loose, back and forth, trying to correct that fishtail. It's almost like when you're a kid on a skateboard going down a hill. You get the old speed wobble, and you start going back and forth, and then all of a sudden it just gives up on you. She nosed it into the outside safer barrier, and to Mike's point about the self-cleaning track, right down the banking and nosed it then with the left front into the inside safer barrier.
Andres Perez almost got collected in that as well. He was to her inside coming off the corner, but as her truck whipped back to driver's right, he was able to escape unscathed on on the bottom of the racetrack. Pit road will be open, and everybody in the front 5 or so coming down pit road. 3 takers up front will stay on the racetrack. These pit stops will take place at lap 41. Kyle Busch will lead them onto pit road. Caden Honeycutt and others staying on the track include Dawson Sutton, Stuart Friesen, also Corey LaJoie and others. Let's cover Kyle Busch's stop.
Kyle Busch brings the automobile in down to Brian Patty. Very happy with the race car. No real adjustments on it. Here's 4-tire Sunoco Racing Fuel. Here's Lane Riggs into the attention of his crew. Ty Majeski is then going to be 4-tire Sunoco Racing Fuel. Truck got just a little bit tight over the course of that run. Caden Honeycutt is in. Ross Chastain is in. And Brandon Jones got tight over the course of the run, Chris Wilner.
Carson Hocevar said I was super loose, but the pace was really good. They did 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco Fuel. Took a round and a half out of the right rear jack screw. Also went Andres Perez de Lara having a good day. 4 tires and fuel, and a chassis adjustment for Tanner Gray on his Toyota. Everybody taking 4 tires and fuel here on lap number 41.
One driver gets the lap back and is the beneficiary of the free pass. That driver that gets the lap back will be Luke Baldwin. We do have a speeding penalty that's going to be issued.
Caden Honeycutt was first off pit road, but he won't be first to the green flag. Too fast off pit road, and that will ultimately surrender the lead back to Kyle Busch, who was second off the pit lane. An unfortunate set of circumstances for Caden Honeycutt, who will have to start at the tail end of the field. So it will be Kyle Busch, technically the first off pit road, with Ty Majeski coming off in second, Gio Ruggiero in third, Ross Chastain fourth, and Christopher Bell off the pit lane in position number 5.
And now, Mike, with just a handful of laps left in the opening stage and a pending second caution flag, the trucks that are a lap down are going to stay on the racetrack and take the wave around. So they'll get their lap back and just basically have to run a lap, maybe 2, depending on how quickly we can get back under the green flag here. But they'll be able to get their lap back and then be able to pit when the caution flag comes back out for the end of stage number 1.
Let's get an update on the issues for Tyler Ankrum. He came to pit road a moment ago, and the crew was working on that truck. Chris, what was the problem?
Yeah, well, Tyler came over the radio first off and said that I thought it's blowing up. I'm losing all sorts of fuel pressure and things like that. Then the truck came to life, and then it came off again. So they brought it down pit road, changed 4 tires and fuel, and it sounds like it's either a fuel pickup issue or a fuel pump issue. Mark Hillman, the crew chief, has a fuel pump with the crews on standby, and Tyler Ankrum's going to try to at least get through the end of this first stage. But there is a cause for concern, not getting enough fuel to the engine of the Tyler Ankrum truck. Steve Post?
Funny you say that, Chris, because his teammate, Daniel Hemrick, it was a fuel pump failure for Daniel Hemrick. That explains them going under the back of the truck and trying to assess what was going on. It was a fuel pump failure, so some of the McAnally Hildeman trucks, 2 of them now having, one has potential fuel pump problems, another has a failure.
Second speeding penalty is going to be issued by the NASCAR police on pit lane as well. Ben Rhodes is going to get busted for speeding. He was being scored in the 11th position, so Ben Rhodes, along with Caden Honeycutt, are going to fall to the tail end of the longest line for, well, let's see if we get a 1 to go or not. We will. We'll get the 1 to go this time. So a bad penalty, but Mike, at least they know there's going to be a caution flag here in another lap and a half or so.
Cole Butcher stays on the racetrack. Butterbean Queen second. He stayed out as well. Kyle Busch, Ty Majeski, Gio Ruggiero rounding out the top 5. They're getting 1 to go now. When they come to the line, they'll get the green flag, and that'll be the final lap of stage 1, and that will set up a very intense 1-mile sprint to the conclusion of this opening stage.
So in the fact you mentioned a couple of those drivers, and Cole Butcher and Brendan Queen staying on the track on old tires, that's going to have everybody's attention as the drivers and so Cole Butcher will elect a restart on the outside lane, and Butterbean Queen will go to the bottom side of the front row. So those 2 drivers who stayed on the racetrack on the old tires are going to be occupying the front row after they had the opportunity to choose.
Midway down the back straightaway, we are doubled up for the restart. Cole Butcher, Butterbean Queen on the front row for that one. What will Kyle Busch do? Will he stack them 3 wide to the outside? He will restart on the outside of that second row. And again, this is a 1-lap sprint to the end of stage 1 in the EcoSave 200. Pace truck is on pit road. Here we go. Pull your belts tight.
The field works their way through turn 4. They got to get to the Echo Park Automotive restart zone before they can jump back on the loud pedal. Cole Butcher on the outside lane is there. Green flag goes back in the air. Front row in the older tires getting all kinds of assistance. Everybody shoving the tailgates as they work their way back to turn one. Butcher gets away with the lead.
Where do you go on this one? Cole Butcher now tries to dive to the inside. As he does that, Kyle Busch straight to his outside. Back to the lead for the number 7. Kyle Busch will take Ty Majeski with him. They're 3 wide as they head through 4.
Banging quarter panels bouncing off each other mid-pack. Coming off turn number 4. Green, white checkered flag waving. Kyle Busch will win stage 1. 2 and 3 wide racing further back. A very intense 1-lap sprint to the end of this opening stage. Busch wins. Ty Majeski in second. Cole Butcher, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar rounding out the top 5. And the caution is out, presented by Hardee's. Buckle up, NASCAR fans. Get the Hardee's app and join My Rewards, and Hardee's will start you off with a free sandwich. Plus, earn rewards lap after lap and order your Hardee's ahead.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires. Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected into the car. Bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
Love sprint car dirt track racing? Check out the Motor Racing Network's Wing Nation with Steve Post, Ashley Stremme, and the First Lady of Dirt Racing, World of Outlaws winner, Aaron Evernham. Each week, Wing Nation goes in-depth with the stars of local tracks, high-limit racing, and the World of Outlaws. Check out Wing Nation interviews on the Wing Nation Facebook page, YouTube channel, or follow along on Instagram or X at Wing Nation. Your go-to for sprint car talk, Wing Nation.
From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
Part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
This is Daniel Hemrick. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Stage 1 of the EcoSave 200 is over here at Dover Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch won the pole, led the opening 43 laps of the 45 that took us to the end of the stage, and he was able to win Stage 1. So if you're a Kyle Busch fan, so far, so good in that Spire Motorsports Chevy Silverado.
The only time he gave up the lead in Stage 1 was during the pit stop that they made back on lap number 41. Cole Butcher then led 3 laps. Caden Honeycutt got credit for leading a single lap.
So in the opening stages, pretty much sanitary so far. Nothing really sticks out. Destiny Spurlock got twisted up on the back straightaway. She joins Daniel Hemrick in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series garage. Total of 27 trucks on the lead lap. Ben Rhodes, the last of those trucks at this moment.
As we wait for pit lane to open up, there were a handful of drivers that were a lap down that took the wave around and got their laps back that will be looking to come get routine service on their trucks. So a good break there for a lot of those drivers to be able to get the lap back courtesy of that late caution flag before the end of the stage.
That was a very intrusive ending to Stage 1. Saw Butterbean Queen get twisted up coming to the green and white checker flag. Gio Ruggiero, Christopher Bell. You had trucks bouncing off of each other in what was a very intense run off turn 2 up the backstretch and through turns 3 and 4. The good news is everybody kept their trucks pointed in the right direction. They kept north in the northbound lane as opposed to north in the southbound lane. And we got away with one coming to that green and white checker flag. Normally when when we see that kind of beating and banging here at Dover, it results in mayhem and chaos, which we seem to have avoided, at least at this point of the race.
Yeah, everybody did a nice job. Lane Riggs was in the middle of that as well. He was right behind Brendan Queen when he got crossed up, and Lane had to roll out of the throttle. Cost him a couple of positions. He fell back to the 9th spot. You know, Lane Riggs trying to do what his dad did here 25 years ago. Back in 2001, his dad, Scott Riggs, won a Craftsman Truck Series race here at the Monster Mile.
Let's check in with Chris on the pit lane.
Cole Butcher's coming to the attention of his crew after the call by Rich Lucius to have him stay out to get some stage points. He said, we had to do something different. Cole hung on for a third-place finish, loves the race truck. No adjustments, just going to be 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel for his ThorSport Ford F-150. Also coming in are some others in front of Steve Post.
Yeah, these trucks coming in, some of them stayed out. Brandon Queen, one of the drivers coming in, 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel on this one as well. So with those drivers flipping the stage, a little quiet for a stage break here on pit road.
Yeah, those trucks that did not pit on lap 41 taking full advantage of it here under our second caution flag of the race.
How does Chase Briscoe win? With the hands of his pit crew changing 4 tires in under 9 seconds. The voice of his spotter carving a path through the pack. His race engineer, systems engineer, all working tirelessly to shave off a 1/10 of a second. With his team at Toyota, his crew chief, his fans, his family. It's all of this all at once at 200 miles per hour. From the moment Chase joined Toyota to the moment he ends up in victory lane. So how does Chase Briscoe win? In summary, not alone. Toyota Racing. Your race, your story. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Hey guys, Corley Joy here. Make sure you catch Stag & Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything. And you're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts, or on YouTube. Go check us out.
From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
For 250 years, America has been more than a place. It's been a promise, a story of courage, hope, and dreams. And through it all, local TV and radio broadcasters have been there, telling the story of America, bringing truth to light. Broadcasters tell the story of who we are and who we aspire to be. We are America's storytellers. We are broadcasters. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored real-time audio from drivers and crews. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency, the RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at racingelectronics.com today.
Motor Racing Network NASCAR Coast to Coast podcast with Chris Wilner. All about grassroots racing.
Laps ticking away here in Stage 2 as we work the second caution flag. 39 laps to go now in Stage number 2. And here's a look at who's getting it done on the track right now. Presented by Craftsman. DIY projects always sound simple until they're not. Luckily, Craftsman has your back. With tools to power through the mess, you can go from, what have I done, to, yeah, I did that. Head to Craftsman.com today. Craftsman, build on.
I think I'll play the role of Captain Obvious here. Kyle Busch has been getting it done, led 47 of the 51 laps so far. Something about him, these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series trucks, and Dover Motor Speedway go hand in hand. He basically has been unchallenged from the start of this race. From the dropping of the green flag, he has had to navigate some lap traffic, but he's been able to put a lot of distance between himself and the rest of the field. I would say Kyle Busch is the number one driver that's getting it done here in the early going.
We'll find out if Kyle Busch can continue to get it done. As the field comes down to the line, we'll get the one to go this time by. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. NASCAR Racing Network live in Dover, Delaware at the Monster Mile Dover Motor Speedway. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series running the Echo Park 200, or the Echo Save 200, as we get set for a restart coming up. My name's Alex Hayden. Alongside is Mike Bagley. Brad Gilley is out in the turn for us this afternoon with Steve Post and Chris Wilner up and down the pit lane.
They have just chosen for the restart. Kyle Busch has chosen to restart on the outside of row 1. Ty Majeski will start to his left elbow. From there on back, drivers choosing in and out. When they come to the line, 53 laps will be complete. That'll leave 37 laps to go in stage 2. Alex, we talk about how these races click off in a hurry here at Dover. It won't be too much longer before we'll be at the end of stage 2, and this race will be in its final stage here as we are working through Sunset in central Delaware.
Yeah, it is still a beautiful evening here. Turn 2 and the back stretch and turn 3 have shade over them, especially because of the Bally's Casino and Hotel, and of course the horse racing grandstands, the enclosed grandstands over there for the horse track, which is on the infield here of the Monster Mile.
Pace truck is on pit road. Here we go. 37 to go in stage 2. They roll through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Kyle's on the gas. Oh, and he'll pull Ty Majeski by a truck length before they get to the start-finish line. He works his way up to the gearbox. He'll clear everybody by the time he exits the front straightaway.
Ty Majeski was hoping to tuck into second, but he can't do that. To his outside, Ross Chastain claims that spot. Drop Ty Majeski to third. Now the battle is for fourth as they head into turn number 3. Gio Ruggiero has it. Carson Hocevar dropping out of fifth.
Hocevar to the inside. Ruggiero with a big wiggle off turn number 4. Leaves the bottom side of the racetrack wide open. Hocevar happily obliges.
Carson Hocevar on the inside of Gio Ruggiero. Look up front, though. Ross Chastain's not necessarily letting Kyle Busch get away. About a truck length off the rear tailgate. A couple of Chevys now racing through 3 and 4.
Mid-pack on back. Things are getting a little physical back there. Clint Boyer pushed a 3-wide move off 2, and it paid off. Up front, Kyle Busch, new challenger at the back door. It's Ross Chastain.
Kyle Busch starts to pull away slightly off of turn number 2 as they hit the back straightaway, head to the outside safer barrier. Call it 2 truck lengths now for Kyle Busch. Chastain, however, looks better in 3 and 4. They both dive to the bottom of the track.
And they're both going to get on the gas exiting turn number 4. It'll stay 2.5, maybe 3 truck lengths now for Kyle Busch over Ross Chastain. Ty Majeski falls in line 3rd. Gio Ruggiero 4th. Carson Hocevar is 5th. The battle for 6th is on between Christopher Bell and Jake Garcia.
Jake Garcia now about 2 truck lengths off the back of Christopher Bell. Bell is now starting to charge on Carson Hocevar, however. He wants back in the top 5.
After leading a lap earlier, Caden Honeycutt had a pit road speeding penalty. Caden is working his way back up through the field. He's up to the 16th position, and right now he is going to work on one other truck as they race their way back to turns 1 and 2.
That would be the number 5 of William Sawalich. 2 Toyotas battling side by side. Caden Honeycutt is going to take that spot away, and he'll set his sights now to try and get up into the top 15. Next in line for Honeycutt, Minnie Tyrell.
Further up, challenge is on in the top 5. Christopher Bell to the inside of Carson Hocevar. Wheel to wheel, they'll race in the 24 degrees of banking in turn 2.
Hocevar has to give up that spot on the top side. Bell's able to make the pass on the inside. Now, Hocevar needs to check his rear view. Jake Garcia is there. We got 3 trucks battling now off 4.
Stacked up from 5th on back. Christopher Bell has just gotten around Carson Hocevar for 5th, and then behind them in 7th will be the Garcia truck with Andres Perez and Lane Riggs not too far behind.
I'll tell you what, Bagman, Lane Riggs has had a very fast truck in the opening stage. He was working his way through the field pretty easily. Takes his truck about 5 to 10 laps to get up to speed, but you can see that happening now. Also, Brandon Jones back in the mix. He looks to the inside of Riggs.
Yeah, Brandon Jones with a big head of momentum off turn number 4. Gets alongside the left rear quarter panel of that canary yellow Ford. That's Lane Riggs on the outside lane.
Lane Riggs will try and hang on to that spot from the outside, but Brandon Jones is not going to let him go. He stays to his inside. They drop into the banking in turn number 3. Door to door as they race to 4.
Oh, and Brandon Jones gets loose on the bottom of the racetrack. Had to chase it up, and Lane Riggs with a good heads-up piece of driving there to prevent from being collected from Brandon Jones, who Brad started on the bottom of the racetrack in turn 3, but he didn't land there in turn 4.
Boy, he sure didn't. He did wash up the racetrack, and now that means he gives up about 2 or 3 trucks. Now Brandon Jones, not only looking out the windshield, also looking behind him. Here comes Grant Enfinger.
Enfinger there, but not quite close enough to mount a challenge as we complete lap number 62. And here's a look at how everybody is running on this lap.
Kyle Busch leads by 0.8 of a second over Ross Chastain. Ty Majeski is third. Gio Ruggiero is fourth. Christopher Bell rounding out the top five. Carson Hocevar is sixth on the leaderboard. Jake Garcia is seventh. Andres Perez in eighth. Lane Riggs is ninth, and Brandon Jones is 10th.
Currently 11th is Grant Enfinger. Chandler Smith goes 12th, and Christian Eckes is up the leaderboard to 13th. Caden Honeycutt on the rebound from a speeding penalty. He is 14th. Minnie Tyrell 15th. William Sawalich goes 16th. Tanner Gray 17th. Ben Rhodes also a speeding penalty on pit lane earlier. He's up to the 18th spot. Justin Haley 19th, and Parker Eatman is 20th.
Luke Baldwin is 21st. Clint Boyer is 22nd, with Stuart Friesen 23rd. Cole Butcher's 24th, and Brendan Queen is 25th. Dawson Sutton is 26th. Corey LaJoy is 27th. Chris Wright is 28th. Spencer Boyd is 29th, and Frankie Muniz is 30th.
Tyler Ankrum 31st. 32nd is Tony Breidinger. Natalie Decker's 33rd. Caleb Costner 34th. Daniel Hemrick back on the track after the fuel pump issue. He is back in 35th, multiple laps down. One truck's being scored out of the race. That's Destiny Spurlock. She'll finish 36th.
If you're scratching your head and saying, did those guys just make a mistake? Clint Boyer's a broadcaster now. Well, not for today. Clint Boyer is driving the free agent truck for Colleague Racing, making a start at the Monster Mile. Chris Wilner, how's it going for Clint? He's not been behind the wheel for a while.
Well, he's certainly having a lot of fun. He actually has his good buddy and broadcast partner Kevin Harvick on the roof as a co-spotter with Frank Denny. They're both were jabbing at Clint under that last caution, saying, dude, is your vision okay? You lost so many spots in that last restart. They actually were playing rock, paper, scissors to see how many spots Clint would lose. Now, Clint was up on the wheel this time, put it 3 wide and made a couple good moves, but it's been fun to listen to Kevin and Frank talk to their driver Clint, and Clint's just saying, I'm having the time of my life, but boys, give me a break. It's been a minute, so we'll see what it does the rest of the race, but Clint Boyer's having a lot of fun.
Obviously, Kevin Harvick is up for nomination to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Voting will be this upcoming Tuesday. We'll find out if Kevin Harvick will get voted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2026. The other spotter, Frank Denny Jr. out of the state of Virginia. Long-time late model stock car racer, won a bunch of big races. Frank Denny Jr. been a spotter in the NASCAR Cup Series here in the last handful of years, so certainly he understands what it takes to win races as well.
Andres Perez on the pit road, an unscheduled pit stop there. He had a flat right front when he came by the broadcast booth last time. They're going to change all 4 tires and get Andres back on the racetrack. While we've been watching Caden Honeycutt, Brad Gilley, he'd been working Chandler Smith over for the last 5 or 6 laps or so and really turned the wick up on that Ford F-150.
Boy, he did in a big way. Drove right to the outside of Chandler Smith to move himself to 11th now. Caden Honeycutt, if you're just joining us, sped on pit road and had to drop to the tail of the field. Now he'll chase Grant Enfinger.
With 19 laps to go here in stage number 2, everybody continues to look at the leaderboard and see Kyle Busch showing the way.
Hey, NASCAR fans, get the NASCAR app. Join my rewards, and every combo purchase on the app gives you a chance to win an exclusive Talladega experience, race ticket, and other awesome NASCAR prizes. And when the Hardee's number 23 car gets a top 10 finish, we also throw you a code for a free 3-piece hand-breaded chicken tender with a large string purchase. The wins just keep coming. Get the app. Join my rewards, only at Hardee's.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older in the 50 United States or District of Columbia, excluding New York and Rhode Island. And a Hardee's My Rewards member with web device. Begins 4/15/26, ends 6/16/26. Rules at Hardee's.com/Victory Lap.
Looking for a weekly motorsports podcast to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
No change at the front of the field here on lap number 73. Kyle Busch leads Ross Chastain, Ty Majeski, Gio Ruggiero, and Christopher Bell, your top 5. Natalie Decker has been black flagged. She's taken her truck to the pit lane. She was not able to meet the minimum speed to continue on in the race. They made some adjustments to her truck, and she's beginning to roll back down the pit lane to try to go back out and meet minimum speed. From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of with the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Whelen Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
This is Caden Honeycutt. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
"12 laps to go in stage number 2. Next time by, Kyle Busch has things firmly in hand, but Mike Bagley from 7th on back, it's anybody's race.
Lane Riggs, Brandon Jones, Jake Garcia, Caden Honeycutt have all been huddled up there together. First, a private battle between Riggs and Jones comes off the corner. Matter of fact, Jones going to take a peek to the inside at the start-finish line. Can't find room to race there, Brad, but he's not giving up hope.
Lane Riggs has some momentum. He takes the middle groove of the racetrack. Brandon Jones, once again, is going to have to tuck in behind him. Behind the two of them, Caden Honeycutt's on the move. He just got around Jake Garcia. This moves Caden Honeycutt up to 9th.
Caden Honeycutt, again, got a pit road speeding penalty back on lap number 41. Had to restart at the tail end of the longest line, and Brad, he's got himself a fast truck here today.
Boy, he does. This battle up in front of him between Lane Riggs and Brandon Jones is about to be a 3-truck battle because Caden Honeycutt is on the move. He's about 20 car lengths back, but that's not going to last long.
Battle of Ford and Toyota, a battle of Bahama, North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. It comes to the line with right now Bahama and Ford that winning the battle. However, Brandon Jones has not given up.
Brandon Jones now takes the higher groove up in turns 1 and 2 as they hit the back straightaway. Momentum on his side. He's going to look low as they head to turn number 3. He gets cut off by Lane Riggs. Both trucks go high off 4.
Yeah, this is a great race. This is for 7th and 8th as laps get fewer in stage number 2, down to 9 laps to go. Can't really look away from things at the 7th spot as they continue to tussle for that spot.
Lane Riggs looking at his rearview mirror more than he's looking in front of him right now. That's what he has to do to hold off Brandon Jones. They get to the end of the back straightaway. They dive down into turn number 3. Jones tries to look a little lower. Can't make it happen this time.
Meanwhile, the leaders have gotten to the tail end of the field. Kyle Busch in heavy lap traffic, tiptoeing through it midway down the back straightaway.
Boy, Kyle Busch now gets around another lap truck. This is allowing Ross Chastain to close in just a bit. He got around Natalie Decker, and he'll set his sights on Corey LaJoie.
Yeah, Corey LaJoie will be the next one in line. LaJoie was a lap down in the opening stage, got a free pass as we got a truck all the way up, bounced off the safer barrier right in front of the race leader. It's Cole Butcher.
Cole Butcher now, his truck very slow on the track. He goes to the outside safer barrier. Kyle Busch goes to his inside. Cole Butcher was trying to get down to the apron. Oh my gosh, and he just cut right in front of another truck. That was Chris Wright. Andre Perez de Lara actually cut in front of Cole Butcher as they hit pit road.
Hold your breath moment, lap 83 with Cole Butcher bouncing off the wall in turn 2, and everybody was scattering to avoid that truck on the backstretch. Cole has since brought that truck to pit road, and he will pit now with 6 laps to go in the stage. With all that jockeying for real estate on the backstretch, it really, Alex, has tightened up the battle for the lead out of turn 4.
Yeah, and for second, Ty Majeski, the third-place runner, is on the tailgate of Ross Chastain. Another 4 or 5 truck lengths in front of them is the race leader, Kyle Busch, as they go to turn number 2.
Ross Chastain goes all the way to the bottom. He takes Corey LaJoie and puts him a little bit further back as LaJoie just went a lap down. LaJoie, though, is in this battle with Majeski and Chastain. Majeski, Chastain both have to go to the bottom to avoid.
Yeah, both drivers have to use the bottom of the racetrack to get around Corey LaJoie out of turn number number 4. They will make the pass around Corey, and they will put lap 86 on the board. Less than 4 to go. Kyle Busch is on the backstretch.
Best thing for Kyle Busch is this battle for second right now. They were closing in on him in lap traffic. Now there's about 8 truck lengths back to Ross Chastain. Ty Majeski's going to have to set back for just a minute while he resets. Chastain, however, starts to catch Busch.
With 3 laps to go in the stage, they're closing in on Dawson Sutton, and the truck multiple laps down Daniel Hemrick. Leaders are going to have to deal with both of those trucks again off turn number 2.
Now we're talking 3 truck lengths or so as they come onto the back straightaway. Kyle Busch in front of Ross Chastain. Winding down the laps here in stage number 2. Call it 2 truck lengths as they race through 3.
Off turn 4, here they come back to the main straightaway. Watching the battle for the lead. More lap traffic directly ahead. Daniel Hemrick is back on the racetrack after spending several laps in the garage. He is the first truck Kyle Busch will encounter in turn 2.
Kyle Busch on the bottom. Hemrick is giving him room on the inside, but now they hit the back straightaway. They get in line. Kyle Busch will have to draft Daniel Hemrick. Ross Chastain still trying to chase, but is he going to have enough as they come off 4?
Here's Kyle Busch, the race leader, up underneath Daniel Hemrick. Down to the line. He'll begin the final lap of stage number 2. Kyle Busch right to the bottom of the racetrack. Lets the truck drift wide as he's got more lap traffic to deal with.
Now Kyle Busch was going to have to look to the outside, but as they hit the back straightaway, he starts to look to the inside right now. They go into turn number 3. Ross Chastain chasing now. Kyle Busch now goes to the inside of Dawson Sutton.
Off turn 4, here comes Kyle Busch. That HendrickCars.com Chevrolet rockets to the start-finish line. Green and white checkered flag is waving. Kyle got loose off the corner, almost wanted that truck up, and Ross Chastain made a run at him coming to the start-finish line. But Kyle Busch, he's won stage 1. He'll win stage 2 in front of Ross Chastain that finishes this stage in 2nd, with Ty Majeski in 3rd, Gio Ruggiero 4th, and Christopher Bell 5th. Carson Hocevar will finish the stage in 6th, with Lane Riggs in 7th, Brandon Jones in 8th, Caden Honeycutt 9th, and Grant Enfinger in 10th.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected to the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. You have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
Start streaming now on Tubi.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
This is Ty Majeski. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Stage 2 of the EcoSave 200 is over here at the Monster Mile. Kyle Busch wins that one too. So far, Kyle Busch has been the man to beat. He's been virtually untouchable today here at Dover. We've completed 92 laps. Kyle Busch has led 88 of them.
I don't think anybody's shocked at that right now. Still got a long way to go. Over half of the race remaining in the EcoSave 200. You know, Dover Motor Speedway, we talked about the open of the broadcast, back on the Truck Series schedule for the first time in 6 years. So it's a what's old is new again type of thing, along with two other circuits that are first-time tracks for this series. We already did the streets of St. Petersburg, Florida, which was a thriller. That was won by Lane Riggs. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series coming up. June 19th, we'll race on another circuit, Naval Base Coronado, San Diego, part of a massive NASCAR weekend out in Southern California.
That is going to be a spectacular weekend. We've never raced on a naval base before. Of course, taking the Chicago Street playbook and taking it out to San Diego and applying things there. The folks at the Naval Base have been tremendous folks to work with. They look forward to having us there. It'll be a triple header. We'll have the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series there, also the NASCAR Rally Auto Parts Series and the NASCAR Cup Series. Something pretty cool that they're doing for the truck race, that will be open to military personnel and their families only. That is a special thank you to them, so they'll be able to enjoy the truck race in person. Everything else will be open to the public all weekend long. But that's going to be a fun weekend. One of many ways that we'll be celebrating our nation's 250th anniversary.
Just outstanding, it is. And the more this has come along, you know, when we first heard what we were going to do, we were all intrigued and excited. But now we know the course. Now the chatter's been on. Some simulation's been taking place. Drivers love the layout and love the circuit. So we'll see how that plays out as the pit lane opens up here. And the lead trucks now make their way in at 30 miles per hour, led by race leader Kyle Busch. Pit boards begin to wave vertically up and down, trying to get their driver's attention. We'll go to Chris Wilner.
Carson, host of our pits, with the little bit of left front headlight damage. They're going to pop it out here on this 4 Goodyear tire change. They're going to fill it full of Sunoco fuel. Carson saying it's just plowing tight. I was abusing the right front, and subbing here as the tire changer is going to be Andrew McMulty after Donovan Mitchell had an incident earlier today. So trying to get the coordination down. They're going to get the headlight fixed. Also in, Tanner Gray getting 4 tires and fuel, as is William Sawalich. And for Chandler Smith, a couple of rubbers in the left rear because he is tight, Steve Post.
Kyle Busch is in, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. Truck got just a little tight at the end of the run. Same situation for Gio Ruggiero. Those two are side by side coming down pit road. Now they're 3 wide exiting pit road. Wow, what a tight battle off. Looks like Ross Chastain might have won that battle off pit road, but man, they were tight going off from here. Ross Chastain, good with his truck, just a little bit tight at the end of the run, but man, he loved that truck in the early goings. These pit stops and a stage number 2 here on lap number 94.
Ross Chastain, the first off the pit lane. Ty Majeski was second. Kyle Busch comes off the pit lane in third. He will surrender the lead just after leading his 1,000th lap at the Monster Mile. The first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series driver to lead 1,000 laps at a single track.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. Always trusting Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored real-time audio from drivers and crews, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency, the RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at racingelectronics.com today.
From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Listen to daily NASCAR news from the Motor Racing Network on NASCAR Hot Pass and NASCAR Today.
Back at Dover Motor Speedway, wrapping up Hardy's Caution number 3 of the afternoon. That's coming out for the end of Stage 2. Kyle Busch had a slow pit stop. He came off pit road in third. It was Ross Chastain that beat everybody off the pit lane with Ty Majeski. Then you get Kyle Busch, Gio Ruggiero, Lane Riggs, the top 5. Caden Honeycutt will restart in 6th. Christopher Bell in 7th. Grant Enfinger in 8th. Jake Garcia 9th. And Brandon Jones will restart 10th.
It's been entertaining today. Kyle Busch has certainly led the lion's share of the laps, but boy, we've had some really good racing all the way through the field today. Even there in the closing laps of stage number 2, Kyle Busch working his way through some lap traffic as we get the one to go this time by.
You know, Alex, when we come to Dover, we all see various methods of how to navigate the corners. You see drivers that like to work the bottom of the racetrack. You see drivers that like going all the way up top. But then they like to, what I call, use the jeweler line here at the Monster Mile.
Diamonding the corner, where they will go in the turn low and let the truck or car go up to the outside wall. And then once it gets up to the apex, it just basically tug the steering wheel back to the left and get low again on exit to try to make the straightaways as long as you possibly can. Trucks, number 1, are faster in a straight line than they are through turns. And number 2, if you can get down these straightaways in a hurry, you can get to the inside of the competition by the time you get to the next set of corners, and you can have the opportunity to overtake.
All methods have been on display here this afternoon at Dover. The question is, which one will be the winning one? When they come back to the line, we're going to have 102 laps to settle this one, and these 102 laps will click off in a hurry. Again, Ross Chastain and Ty Majeski will restart on the front row. Chastain has opted to restart and chosen to restart on the outside, with Ty Majeski restarting down low. Kyle Busch came off pit road in third. He has chosen to restart on the outside of row 2.
Pace truck will hit the pit lane. Field works through turn 4, waiting to get to the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Fans line the fence up off the corner, waving their hats. Green flag goes back in the air. Ross Chastain being shoved down the front straightaway, courtesy of the blue bumper of Kyle Busch, and that'll shove Chastain to the lead.
Chastain will be out front all by himself. Kyle Busch will now run side by side with Ty Majeski. Behind them, Lane Riggs now jumps to the outside. Majeski tries to tuck in behind Kyle Busch, but Lane Riggs now on the outside for third.
Lane Riggs will change lanes. Majeski almost took the nose off of Lane Riggs on the back straightaway. That was very close racing, as Riggs now will get position number 3 with Kyle Busch right on his front bumper.
Got 2 Chevys up front, 2 Fords running in third and fourth. Ross Chastain leads by about 4 car lengths over Kyle Busch. 2 car lengths back, you have Lane Riggs, then Ty Majeski. Top 4 trying to break away, but Gio Ruggiero wants to join the fight.
He is in the number 5 spot, is Gio. Behind them, they're stacked up for 6th on back. Christopher Bell, Caden Honeycutt is in that mix. Jake Garcia is 8th. Then it's Grant Enfinger and Brandon Jones, the top 10.
Off of turn number 2, Caden Honeycutt has caught the rear bumper of Christopher Bell. Bell, though, gets a good launch onto the back straightaway. He's going to maintain that spot, but Honeycutt dives down to the bottom in 3.
Honeycutt's at the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get the good run from the low line and up onto the straightaway. Bell was able to hang on to 6th. Honeycutt's in 7th. Jake Garcia right now in 8th, trying to be a part of the story.
Right behind them, you got Brandon Jones. He is a man on the move right now. Brandon Jones is tucked in behind another truck. Looks like Grant Enfinger now as they race for position through turn number 4.
Further up, the battle for third is on now. Ty Majeski trying to regain that lost real estate to Lane Riggs. Riggs goes high in turns 1 and 2, leaves the bottom wide open for Majeski.
Ty Majeski will try to look to the inside. outside. Riggs, though, takes a shallow exit off of turn number 2. He'll put on the block. Majeski now puts his nose down low. Riggs is going to have to open up the inside.
Lane Riggs in a late race flex here at the Monster Mile, trying to hang on to position number 3. Ty Majeski wants it back. Side by side at the start-finish line. They're side by side in the apex of turns 1 and 2.
Majeski on the bottom, Riggs on the outside. Riggs gets a good launch off of turn number 2. He will clear him, and he will take that third spot back. Gio Ruggiero now is able to join this fight. He starts to look to the middle groove.
2 yellow trucks battling for the number 3 spot, although very different shades of yellow as they work their way back to turns 1 and 2. In the number 3 spot is Lane Riggs. Now a different line way up the track, and 4th is Ty Majeski.
Ty Majeski in 4th. Meanwhile, up front, Ross Chastain continues to lead about 5 truck lengths over Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, though, I think has room to press.
Off the corner, they come back to the start-finish line. Chastain and Kyle Busch, 2-car breakaway, or 2-truck breakaway. In front of this ongoing battle for third that involves Lane Riggs and Ty Majeski.
Lane Riggs just threw a major block on Ty Majeski as Majeski was trying to go high down the back straightaway. Majeski again, he'll try and look to the inside in turn number 3. Riggs once again cuts him off.
Riggs this time goes to the bottom of the racetrack, plays with the air across the nose of Ty Majeski's Ford. Majeski is undaunted. He'll stay right there and again try to wedge his way to the bottom of the racetrack as they race for third.
Behind them, a couple spots. Caden Honeycutt has caught the back bumper of Christopher Bell. Bell went low in 1 and 2. Honeycutt took the high line. He's going to take some momentum down into turn number 3. Up in front of them, Gio Ruggiero has caught Ty Majeski.
Further back, Caden Honeycutt basically has Christopher Bell's rear tires lifted off the ground. A couple of Toyotas racing for that position. Honeycutt just trying to get going, but C. Bell's having none of that. They race for position number 6.
Christopher Bell in that 6th spot. Caden Honeycutt wants it. He had to back off the fight for now, so let's look up front for that battle for third. Ty Majeski now a truck length and a half off the tailgate of Riggs.
While these two continue to grapple for position number 3, the top 2 are getting away. Ross Chastain the leader, Kyle Busch is second, and Kyle Busch looks like a normal human being when he's not out at front.
Boy, he sure does, and I'm not sure if Kyle Busch looking like a normal human being or if Ross Chastain looks a little superhuman in clean air.
There is no doubt that Ross Chastain is flexing his muscle in the late going here at Dover. He comes across the line. Last time through, it was about 6 truck lengths that separated him from Kyle Busch. It has leveled off, 6 truck lengths separating first to second, but the battle for third is still a good one on the backstretch.
Boy, it is, Mike. Ty Majeski's doing everything he can to work the rear bumper of Lane Riggs. This time, Majeski tries to drive deep into the bottom of turn number 3.
He is tired of messing around with the number 4 spot. Finally off turn 4, Ty Majeski will take position number 3. Slides across the nose of Lane Riggs, but Riggs is now going back to the bottom for the crossover.
Majeski in the high groove as they hit the back straightaway. He will clear Lane Riggs. He'll put about 2 truck lengths on him, but Riggs looking ultra aggressive here. He's going to try and catch the rear tailgate of Majeski.
Fans being treated to a great race here at the Monster Mile today. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing. Everybody watching Ross Chastain do his number on the field. He just led his 18th lap of the afternoon. Kyle Busch behind him has led 89 laps. So we'll see if Ross is able to hang on to this for the balance of this race. Alex, I'm just looking at the racetrack over in turns 3 and 4 and turns 1 and 2. The track has widened out considerably. From the very first lap these trucks ran in practice earlier today through their qualifying session, Cup cars have been on the track for practice. This track is very racy, and it has taken a lot of rubber.
Yeah, it has. There's no forecast for any rain, so a lot of this rubber should stay down on the track all weekend long. With the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, cars will be on the track tomorrow as well. But the resin that they put down on the racetrack in the turns from the bottom all the way to the outside wall looks like it's turned out to be a really good move, because there is racy, grippy lanes everywhere you go around this racetrack.
And it's getting racier for the lead. Ross Chastain looks in his rearview mirror. Kyle Busch is closing in. Ty Majeski is the fastest truck on the racetrack right now. Battle for the lead. Lap 113. Chastain's mirrors are filled with Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch now to the door of Ross Chastain. He went to the inside lane as they hit the back straightaway. Chastain will carry momentum. He will clear Kyle Busch, but there is no doubt that number 7 of Kyle, he has gone to the whip right now.
Carson Hocevar well off the pace. He's got some damage to the right front corner of his truck. The battle for the lead rages on past the start-finish line. Kyle Busch putting on full court press to Ross Chastain.
Ross Chastain was able to throw the block. He pulls away by about 3 truck lengths, but I can promise you, Kyle Busch is on the move. Meanwhile, the Hocevar truck, he's slow on the apron. He'll hit pit road this time by.
He is creeping along at a snail's pace right now at the bottom of turn number 3. Chris, what's the problem?
It's a flat right front tire for Carson Hocevar. Not sure if he got the wall, but he screamed a flat right front. The crew's down here ready as Carson limps his Chevrolet to the pit box. It'll be just right side tires and 1 can of fuel. Brian Patty calling the shots. They see him now. He has definitely some damage on the right front. They're going to pop some of that fender out as the crew goes to work on the right side, but costly here for Carson Hocevar.
He's just lost his second lap as they continue to service the right side of that Chevrolet. The battle for the race lead settles down just for a moment. Third place Ty Majeski, though, Brad, has run down the lead duo.
And I think when Ty Majeski got around, trouble on the racetrack, guys. It's right here in turn number 4. Luke Baldwin goes around. His truck hits the inside safer barrier. It's facing the opposite direction, has heavy front end damage to that truck.
So Luke Baldwin puts us under the caution flag for the 4th time today. He went way up the racetrack between turns 3 and 4, slid all the way down the banking and has come to a rest pointing the opposite direction, and that'll slow everything down here at the Monster Mile.
How does Chase Briscoe win? With the hands of his pit crew changing 4 tires in under 9 seconds. The voice of his spotter carving a path through the pack. His race engineer, systems engineer, all working tirelessly to shave off a 1/10 of a second. With his team at Toyota, his crew chief, his fans, his family. It's all of this all at once at 200 miles per hour. From the moment Chase joined Toyota to the moment he ends up in victory lane. So how does Chase Briscoe win? In summary, not alone. Toyota Racing. Your race, your story. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
The chase is back.
And so is NASCAR Hot Pass for the 2026 season. As we go into the garage and hear from the sports newsmakers.
Now we have a different set of rules, but it's all starting at 0 again, and we have to change the way we go win a championship.
NASCAR Hot Pass, weekdays from the Motor Racing Network.
It's not a massive change. It's still the same car. But, we didn't change cars. We're just keeping up with everybody else.
Luke Baldwin climbing out of his red, white, and blue Mohawk entry. His race is going to come to a premature end after the crash in turns 3 and 4. From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
Out at racingelectronics.com today.
This is Lane Riggs. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Luke Baldwin's truck is on the wrecker, being towed back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series garage. Green light is on at the entrance to pit lane, and here come the leaders. We start our pit coverage with Chris Wilner.
Chandler Smith will hit his pit box for his Front Row Motorsports crew. Complained of again about 3 numbers tight on the race truck, said I'm stalled out in traffic. They're working a little bit on the right front, a little slow on the tire change. You feel like it has a little damage after contact with Carson Hocevar, but it'll be 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. Fill it to the brim, said John Leonard, as they're just outside the fuel window. And and also they feel like that they're going to take a little bit of a packer out of the right rear, and that's exactly what they did. C-Post.
Kyle Busch is in 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Wished he had a little bit more short-run speed on that truck. They bang off each other here on pit road. Kyle Busch has banged off the Dawson Sutton truck, so we'll see on the damage on that machine. There goes Ty Majeski down in the way. There goes Caden Honeycutt out on the racetrack, as well as Christopher Bell, all getting 4 tires and fuel. Ross Chastain very happy with his truck on the short run. He wished he had a little bit more long-run speed. Chris Wilner indicated we're just outside of the fuel window, and there is a lot of discussion down here on that final set of Goodyear Racing Eagles if they can make it to the end of this run.
Kyle Busch, the first off of pit lane. Dawson Sutton in second, Lane Riggs. Then you also have one more truck that is coming out behind them. That would be the Williams Sawalich truck. And then Gio Ruggiero. They are the top 5 off of the pit lane. Steve Post, let's add some more context to this. Obviously, a fresh set of Goodyear Eagles has just gone on these trucks. We've got 80 laps to go right now. Why is there concern amongst these teams?
The concern is a wear factor. I talked to a number of crew chiefs before the race. There is not a lot of fall off of speed. So the speed remains the same. What they're just worried about is the wear factor. And the wear, especially on a tough old racetrack like Dover, is where you get into possible tire failures. So there is a lot of concern about that. They actually addressed it with a little bit lower air pressure starting off. There's also the upside of more rubber on the racetrack decreases the wear, and they're hoping that that factors in. So we really have all kinds of pushing things to the edge here. The wear of the tires, and right now the fuel window to the end. A caution or two will help with the fuel window, and a caution or two would help with that wear a little bit as well.
No, one of the things about it, 2 of those trucks that are in the top 5 now after this pit stop did something totally different on their strategy. Williams Sawalich is one of those trucks, as is the Dawson Sutton. They certainly did not take on 4 fresh tires to get all the track position they got. Sutton, I believe, gained 18 spots on that round of pit, or that exchange on pit lane. So we'll find out what that strategy is and how that's going to work out once the green flag goes back in the air.
While we have a moment, let's take a look at who's getting it done on the track right now, presented by Craftsman. DIY projects always sound simple until they're not. Luckily, Craftsman has your back. With tools to power through the mess, you can go from, what have I done, to, yeah, I did that. Head to Craftsman.com today. Craftsman, build on. Alex, what do you think?
Well, there's a handful of drivers that are getting it done out there. Different strategy. Parker Eatman and Ross Chastain. It's Chastain first, Eatman second. They stayed on the racetrack. They're going to save that final set of brand new Goodyear tires. Chastain's led 26 laps today. Once he got the lead from Kyle Busch, he's been able to maintain. So Chastain's getting it done, but I got to give a nod to Caden Honeycutt. Got a speeding penalty on the pit lane on the first pit stop back on lap number 41. Started at the tail end of the field. He's worked his way all the way back up into the top 10, even earned stage points at the end of stage number 2 from the back of the field. Caden Honeycutt's getting it done.
And Caden Honeycutt has been trapped in traffic. I believe his truck is faster than what he can use it. I know he and Christopher Bell have been going at it for a little bit, but when he got back to the pack, he's gotten up to the top 10. He just can't pierce that bubble and get closer and into the top 5 and challenging for the lead and potentially the win.
And Brad Gilley, you've had a close eye on Caden Honeycutt. Like all the trucks here today, Caden's truck looks like he can put it anywhere he wants to.
It really does. After that speeding penalty, to watch him drive back up into the top 10 and literally pass every truck in between him and that and get stage points, that was impressive. Stage number 2 was a bit of a shorter stage because we did have the caution laps that ran at the end of stage number 1. So watching him now with the opportunity on a restart and varying strategies in front of him as to who's on fresher tires, who's on not fresher tires, and who stayed out, like Ross Chastain and Parker Eatman up front.
Yeah, they stay out. Kyle Busch came off the pit lane first. He's posted third. Dawson Sutton came off pit lane in second. But Dawson's coming in pit road. We'll follow up. Behind Kyle Busch, Lane Riggs, and then you got Williams Sawalich. Chris Wilner, what's the thought process there on that truck for Tricon Garage?
Yeah, I just talked to Seth Smith, who's the crew chief for Williams Sawalich. I said, okay, you've got a long run here, and you put 2 right side tires on, and you left the left. So what's the strategy? He said, well, William just felt like he was stalled out. He could be a really good truck if he just had more clean air. So that was the option, to take 2 to give him track position. And the left side tires only have about 15 green flag laps on them. They feel like with the rubber, to Steve Post's point, that they feel like they can hang on with that, but it's all about track position for Tricon Garage, and that was the move for Williams Sawalich.
So Williams Sawalich as the rest of the field choose what lane they want to restart in here. As the race leader, Ross Chastain, will choose the outside lane. Second place, Parker Eatman chose outside as well. He'll give up some track position, including the front row. Kyle Busch will happily oblige on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. Kyle Busch will be the inside of the front row with Ross Chastain, the leader, on the outside. Row 2 will see Lane Riggs to the inside of Parker Eatman, and then it's William Sawalich to the inside of Gio Ruggiero in row number 3.
Pace truck is getting ready to hit the pit lane when they come back to the line. It'll be 76 laps left to settle the EcoSave 200 here at Dover Motor Speedway. It is getting darker here at the Monster Mile as we get closer and closer into dusk and ultimately sunset. Pace trucks on pit road. Here they come out of turn number 4. Kyle Busch will restart to the inside of Ross Chastain, inching their way into the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. They're there. Green flag is back up, and we're back at it here at Dover. Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, side by side for the lead with the balance of the field stacking up behind them.
Kyle Busch had a great launch, and that might pay off. He's got the advantage on the inside as they hit the back straightaway. Chastain, however, will race door to door. Chastain on old tires. Kyle Busch on fresh tires. Chastain will try and clear them all 4.
Further back, Gio Ruggiero's got a left front fender rubbing on the tire. He made contact with Parker Eatman, who is dropping down the leaderboard on the old tires as we pick up the leaders off turn number 2.
Ty Majeski drives to the outside of William Sawalich. That is a fight for 4th, but up front, Kyle Busch now right on the rear tailgate of Ross Chastain. They'll both dive to the bottom in turn number 3.
Everybody jockeying for real estate on the racetrack. The first driver in the high lane will be Brandon Jones. Everybody else inside of the top 10 hugs the bottom of the racetrack. Here's Christopher Bell. He'll rumble out of the pocket. He'll swing to the inside of William Sawalich in a battle for 5th.
2 fresh tires not working for William Sawalich. He has another truck behind him. That's Caden Honeycutt, who is on the move. This is a battle for 6 as they go into turn number 3.
Caden Honeycutt will grab that position. The older tires there for William Sawalich, unable to get down to the bottom of the speedway. He's under pressure now. Brandon Jones is on the march. I mentioned a moment ago, Steve Post, Gio Ruggiero, a left front fender robe. What's he saying about the truck?
Well, what they're saying is that the smoke has dissipated. They feel like it has cleared itself, but they have the crew on standby should he need to come down and get a new left front tire for Gio Ruggiero.
Because curiosity wants to know, Posty, we just heard that the last set went on. I assume that would be a scuff replacement if they need to come down. Oh, look out! Trouble off turn number 4. Minnie Tyrell will spin to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll loop the truck, maybe give the wall a glancing blow, but he was on the inside and the back end got light. He'll spin that Dodge Ram or that Ram truck to the bottom of the racetrack, and that'll put us under Hardy's caution, number 5.
And he was underneath another Ram teammate, and that was Clint Boyer on the outside lane, and Minnie Tyrell just simply had the back of the truck kick sideways on him. How many times have we seen that, especially with a young driver making their first appearance at the Monster Mile here in Dover, Delaware, just getting the back end of the truck a little bit loose up off of the corner.
He was racing wheel to wheel with Clint Boyer. They were actually in a 3-wide maneuver to the inside of Parker Eatman. And Alex, that is the classic loose off the corner inside, and you're trying to turn that truck as much as you can because you don't want to collect the truck to your outside. And obviously Minnie Tyrell asked more of that Ram than that Ram could provide. The back end came out. He spun to the inside. If he got damage, it was very minimal on the nose of that Ram truck.
Yeah, and he was running in the 20th position. By the way, with this caution flag, our 5th of the race, the free pass and getting back on the lead lap will be Carson Hocevar. So Hocevar gets that lap back, and he'll be back in the game.
So we're under the Hardy's caution for the 5th time of the afternoon. We're having a great battle for the lead between Ross Chastain and Kyle Busch. Lane Riggs has gotten inside of the top 5. He's 3rd. Ty Majeski is 4th. Christopher Bell is in 5th. And Caden Honeycutt, Alex, continues to chip away at it. He restarted 10th. He right now is posted in the 6th position.
Yeah, he's got a good truck, especially up off of the corners. He's able to really get a good run down these straightaways to be able to pull inside or outside for that matter, as that baby blue and white Toyota Steve Post is really fast here in this one as Gio Ruggiero makes his way to pit lane. Steve?
Yeah, they just are very uncomfortable about that left front tire, and they did not want to put Gio in a bad spot. One crew member looking at the right side of the truck just to make sure there's no damage, and they are taking a really close look at this the left front tire on this automobile. it was just, there was a lot of smoke, and this is not one of those racetracks where you want to cut a tire down.
No, it is not at all, because if you hit something here, it's going to be a hard hit, as Gio Ruggiero and his team work to get him back on the racetrack as we work the caution flag for the 5th time today. Ross Chastain's the race leader with 70 laps to go.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. $4, $6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price of participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. All-day access to NASCAR action, streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the greatest drivers. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
69 laps to go here in this one today. Ross Chastain's the race leader, although he's on a bit of a different strategy right now than the rest of the lead lap trucks. We'll talk more about that here in just a moment. From Dover Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Whelen Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
Find your local radio station or check out Motor Racing Network's broadcast schedule on MRN.com.
Just gotten the one to go before we go back under the green flag. Ross Chastain, race leader Steve Post, on a bit of a different strategy.
Yeah, Ross Chastain pitted at the end of the stage, and he stayed out. We documented how everyone felt like we were outside of the fuel window, just barely, and maybe outside of the tire window, just barely. Phil Gould made the call to stay out, and I think when he stayed out, I think everyone else came in. These cautions put everyone fuel-wise right about on the money. Again, that tire wear is an issue, but I think they were sitting ducks, and they got caught out on the lake, if you will, right now. The plan would be to run as long as you can and get a caution toward the end of that run and maybe draw some people on so you don't have to pass as many on the fresher tires when you come down pit road, but they will need to pit again.
He's going to try to keep Kyle Busch in the rearview mirror. Pace truck is on pit road. When they come to the line, 67 laps to settle it here this evening in Dover.
Making the way up off of turn number 4 back to the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Green flag goes back in the air. Chastain, the race leader, on the outside lane, gets a good restart. Kyle Busch to his left elbow getting assistance on the tailgate, courtesy of Ty Majeski. Kyle Busch trying to grab the lead back.
Kyle Busch on the inside, can't quite clear Ross Chastain. Chastain now comes door to door. They'll head into turn number 3. No chance Chastain clears him this time. Ty Majeski trying to join the fight as Chastain leads off 4.
Kyle Busch got loose on the bottom of turns 3 and 4. He'll back away. Chastain will keep the lead. Matter of fact, Kyle Busch will fall back 2 truck lengths. Ty Majeski begins to hover in third.
And the battle for third has Lane Riggs right on the rear tailgate of Ty Majeski. Christopher Bell runs in 5th, but here comes a hard-charging Caden Honeycutt. They go into turn number 3. Bell goes low. Honeycutt tries to go 1 lane higher.
He does, right in the middle of the racetrack. Can't quite get close enough on Christopher Bell to make a challenge. Further back, there's a big tire up on the left front for Clint Boyer. He went way up the racetrack after contact further in the field as we pick the leaders back up on the backstretch.
Ross Chastain leads Kyle Busch. Then it's Ty Majeski, Lane Riggs. The battle for fifth has Christopher Bell with it. Caden Honeycutt wants to take it away. This time Honeycutt goes to the bottom.
6-truck breakaway up front. Chastain, Kyle Busch, Ty Majeski, Lane Riggs, Christopher Bell, and Caden Honeycutt. Each driver now using separate lines in turns 1 and 2.
And those 5 cars are breaking away. The highest was third place running Ty Majeski. He took the middle groove of the racetrack. It's about 2 car lengths back from Ross Chastain where Kyle Busch sits, but he's got Majeski in his rear view.
Ty Majeski awfully racy in the number 3 spot. Looks to the inside off turn 4 on Kyle Busch. Nothing there. This time in turns 1 and 2, Majeski goes wide to try to build momentum.
Kyle Busch also looks like he got a great launch off of turn number 2 as they go down the back straightaway. Chastain actually ducks a little bit low to throw a bit of a block. Busch goes all the way to the bottom. Ross Chastain runs right in front.
Kyle Busch stalking his prey as they come to the line. 62 to go. A truck length separate Chastain from Kyle Busch. Majeski just ever so slightly beginning to creep in on this ongoing battle for the lead.
Last time by, Kyle Busch went a little bit higher in the groove as they go back down the back straightaway. Mike, you called it. Busch is stalking right now the race leader, Chastain.
Knowing that Ross Chastain is on much older tires and still has to make a pit stop, Kyle Busch, as long as he can keep Ty Majeski in third at bay, Kyle knows eventually Chastain will have to come to pit road.
And this is giving us a 3-truck breakaway as Busch, Chastain, Majeski have broken away from Lane Riggs. Chastain's still the race leader. Kyle Busch tries to duck it low at the entrance of 3.
Kyle Busch is in a very precarious position right now. He doesn't really need to force Chastain because those old tires will take care of themselves. But, Brad Gilley, Kyle Busch can't afford to labor or tarry in second because Ty Majeski is hanging in the balance right there behind him.
Boy, you are right, Mike. And I think the one thing Kyle Busch is trying to do is not wear out his tires while still hoping that Chastain is going to make a mistake. This time, Busch takes the middle groove. Chastain goes low.
Ty Majeski falls another truck length off the back deck lid of second place Kyle Busch. He's now 7 truck lengths behind in position number 3.
Kyle Busch definitely letting Chastain know he's there. He all but tapped his rear bumper. They hit the back straightaway. Kyle Busch now looks low. They go into turn number 3. Door to door, the battle for the lead off 4.
Kyle Busch diamond turned 1 and 2. Alex explained that was a few moments ago. It's not paid off yet because Ross Chastain hanging tough on the outside. They almost made contact going back to 1 as Busch tries to muscle the lead away.
Kyle Busch tried to shove him up the racetrack, and it worked. New leader, Kyle Busch clears Ross Chastain. Ty Majeski now running in third. He'll try to take the opportunity to make this a 3-truck battle.
Off turn number 4, here is that second place truck of Chastain goes wide. Inside lane is open. Ty Majeski can't quite get the nose to the inside. Majeski has to recoil from third.
Any clean air advantage that Chastain had is gone with Busch in front of him, and that's showing right now. Chastain has to go midway down the racetrack on the back straightaway. He'll open up the outside for Ty Majeski as they battle for second.
Majeski digging hard from the top of turn number 4. He and Chastain side by side off the corner. Chastain will get cleared by Majeski at the start-finish line, and now Majeski will put his Menard sails in the wind to try to catch the race leader.
Ross did not want to give that up, but he had to. Kyle Busch is now pulling away from Ty Majeski. Then you have Ross Chastain in third. Lane Riggs, Christopher Bell now trying to join this fight.
Up off turn number 4, Lane Riggs has run down third place Ross Chastain. On those old Goodyear tires, Chastain doesn't have a whole lot of fight left in the truck at this stage.
He does not at all. Lane Riggs goes to the top side off of turn number 2 as they head down the back straightaway. He will easily pass Ross Chastain, drops him back to 4th. Now Christopher Bell wants to challenge.
Ross Chastain in the last 5 laps has dropped anchor. He's gone from the lead to now he's fallen to 4th. And in that 4th place position that he has been ushered back to, he's also losing time on the racetrack. Now Chastain is 1.6 seconds behind, and the free fall is not over.
No, it is not. Christopher Bell now drives to his outside, drives straight around him. Up front, however, Ty Majeski's not letting Kyle Busch get away with the lead.
He is not, and he's trying to get ThorSport back to victory lane in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Last time this team won a race in this division was November 8th of 2024 when this driver, Majeski, won from the pole back back at Phoenix Raceway in the season finale. They've got lap traffic headed to turn 3.
And that lap traffic is the form of Mini Tyrell. Mini Tyrell goes to the middle groove. Kyle Busch will try and lap him off 4.
Further back, Chastain continues to lose spots, hand over fist. It'll be Christopher Bell going by. Now Caden Honeycutt will pull to the inside. He will swing by Ross Chastain. Chastain will now fall to 6th.
Brandon Jones will be the next in line, and it looks like he's easily going to get him on the back straightaway. Jones tucks in right behind him, though. This time by, they head into turn number 3. Chastain tries to take the bottom. Jones will go midway up the track.
They work their way up off turn number 4. Everybody gets right back in line on the straightaway, trying to figure out how to advance the leaderboard. Leaders clear some more lap traffic. Kyle Busch around the slower truck. Second place, Ty Majeski follows as well. There'll be 50 laps to go this time by, Mike, here at the Monster Mile.
Kyle Busch, the fastest truck on the racetrack last time through. Ty Majeski, the second fastest truck, but the third quickest truck on this run at this very lap, Ben Rhodes. He's all the way back in the number 9 position. Ben Rhodes rallying back after a pit road speeding penalty earlier. You talk about ThorSport Racing trying to get back to victory lane. ThorSport Racing should be proud of the yeoman effort by Ben Rhodes to get himself back into contention this afternoon.
Yeah, this has been a heck of a drive for ThorSport. And this is exactly what this team needs. Just trying to get back. And, Mike, it doesn't take much in the top 3 national divisions of NASCAR. When you get off just the smallest amount, you find yourself beginning to question, how do we get that back? And then before you know it, you've gone all sorts of directions out of the way just to try to get it. Come to a racetrack, get a couple of trucks to run towards the front of the field like we're seeing ThorSport do today. This could be a big boost for this race team moving forward.
Alex, we always talk in the NASCAR Cup Series about how everybody is so on top of each other. Everybody's so close together. Well, in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, things are uncomfortably snug here as well. If you get off just a tick, if you get off a couple of degrees from due north, you're really, really suffering, and you may fall back 5, 6, 7 spots. The competition is just that close, especially at this stage of a race like we're having at Dover today.
Yeah, we are. The Chevrolet leading the race, and that's Kyle Busch by half a second over a Ford of Ty Majeski. The highest running Toyota is 4th. That's Christopher Bell. The highest running Ram is Justin Haley back in position number 12. As we continue to work under the green flag, Caden Honeycutt, we pick him back up again. Speeding penalty early. He won 4 races in last weekend's events alone, from the ARCA Menard Series to the Craftsman Truck Series. 2 different Cars Tour races with the late model stocks and the pro late models. Caden Honeycutt back in the mix again, solidly in position number 5.
While we have a moment, let's give you a full field rundown. Let you know where your favorite driver is running. We've got just 46 laps to go. Kyle Busch leads Ty Majeski. 3rd is Lane Riggs. Christopher Bell and Caden Honeycutt are 4th and 5th. Brandon Jones is up to 6th. Ben Rhodes now up to 7th, with Ross Chastain having fallen to 8th. William Sawallish is 9th, and Jake Garcia is 10th.
Grant Enfinger is 11th. Justin Haley is 12th. Christian Eck is 13th, and Stuart Friesen is 14th. Corey LaJoy goes 15th. Brendan Queen is 16th. Chandler Smith 17th. Gio Ruggiero is 18th. Tanner Gray 19th, and Parker Eatman is 20th.
Clint Boyer is 21st. Chris Wright is 22nd. Dawson Sutton is 23rd, with Carson Hocevar 24th. Minnie Tyrell, after spinning earlier, is in 25th. Tyler Ankrum is 26th. Spencer Boyd is 27th. Frankie Muniz is 28th, with Tony Breidinger 29th, and Andres Perez in 30th.
31st is Daniel Hemrick. He's the last truck running after a fuel pump issue earlier in the race, multiple laps down. 32nd on back are out of the race. Luke Baldwin will finish 32nd. Cole Butcher 33rd. Natalie Decker 34th. Caleb Costner 35th, and Destiny Spurlock will finish 36th.
Told you about the differing strategy for Ross Chastain a few moments ago. The last time he was on pit road was lap 94. Everybody else on the racetrack was on pit lane at lap 120. Steve Post, what's the update on the Ross Chastain strategy?
Yeah, Phil Gould, the crew chief, just cued the radio and told Ross, I need you to run 20 more laps before I want to pit for fuel. They're hoping for a caution, and they're hoping any cars will follow them, any trucks follow them down pit road. They're going to have to run this as long as they can on fuel, and probably about 15 laps from now, before Ross Chastain brings that truck down pit road.
That is a sinking feeling for that race team right now, just hoping to have something positive go their way. Carson Hocevar is off the pace again. For the second time today, Hocevar is going to come to pit lane under green flag conditions. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. NASCAR Racing Network is live at the Monster Mile, Dover Motor Speedway, with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series running the EcoSave 200. I'm Alex Hayden alongside Mike Bagley. Brad Gilley calling the turns for us today for this race, with Steve Post and Chris Wilner out on the pit lane.
Watching a good battle inside of the top 5. That involves Caden Honeycutt. He is up to position number 5, and he begins to pressure Christopher Bell for the 4th spot off turn 2.
Christopher Bell, for the last few laps, had been battling Lane Riggs in front of him, but he got caught up in lap traffic. That allowed Caden Honeycutt to catch up, but Bell once again drives to the rear deck lid of Lane Riggs.
Lane Riggs slides wide off turn 4, left the inside there. Riggs almost just teasing Christopher Bell. This time in turns 1 and 2, Bell is there to the inside of Riggs.
Bell is on the inside, but Riggs has been making a lot of room there on the high side of the racetrack. This time, however, Bell will try to stay to his inside. They go into turn number 3. Riggs cuts him off. He'll hang on to the spot.
But here comes Christopher Bell back to the bottom of the racetrack, digging hard, coming up onto the main straightaway. Lane Riggs, Christopher Bell, ongoing battle for 3rd with special guest star Caden Honeycutt.
Yeah, Caden Honeycutt's really been able to jump into this one, Mike. Lane Riggs running in 3rd. Bell is chasing him. Caden Honeycutt will make this a 3-truck battle as they go into turn number 3. Bell tries to dive low early. He's successful. He gets to the rear quarter of Riggs.
Lane Riggs, awfully aggressive, Brad, with his blocking, especially entering right in front of you in turn 3.
Boy, he is in a big, big way. He knows he's behind him, and he's also hoping Caden Honeycutt is going to catch up to Christopher Bell, because that's going to slow Bell down. Guess what? Coming onto the back straightaway, Caden Honeycutt is here right now. Bell has to look out of his windshield and out of his rear view.
Lane Riggs has found a good line through turns 3 and 4. It's about a lane and a quarter off the bottom of the racetrack. It's just enough to open the inside lane and aggravate Christopher Bell. Bell's trying to go to work on Lane Riggs while trying to keep Caden Honeycutt at bay in turn 2.
Caden Honeycutt now on the inside of Christopher Bell. This is now a battle for 4th as Lane Riggs has pulled away ever so slightly. Riggs, though, however, got held up by the lap truck of Tyler Ankrum. Honeycutt now on the move for 4th.
And they have to deal with the Tyler Ankrum truck now as well. Ankrum right in front of the Christopher Bell truck, with Caden Honeycutt beginning to bear down. What lane will they choose?
Bell has to go to the outside. Tyler Ankrum will give them the inside and allow them to race. That helped Christopher Bell. He is now 2 truck lengths ahead of Caden Honeycutt and bearing down on Lane Riggs.
This race is 4.2 seconds behind race leader Kyle Busch, with 33 laps to go at the Monster Mile.
We are the voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
They're 3 wide, they're 4 wide. Brad Keselowski around the outside. He's got the lead by half a car length. Here comes Kyle Larson.
ARCA, Whelen Modifieds, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series all race here.
Ryan Blaney goes all the way from the bottom to the top to the bottom. Now back to the top. He'll clear Chase Elliott.
The voice of NASCAR is the Motor Racing Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
No changes to the top 5 while we were away, with the exception of Kyle Busch picking them up and putting them down. A lap in a rear view mirror is what he's doing. Clint Boyer's just going a lap down. A couple of other trucks have done the same. So it's Kyle Busch leading. Second is Ty Majeski, with Lane Riggs, Christopher Bell, Caden Honeycutt the top 5. 30 to go from Dover Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. you have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
More by visiting victoryjunction.org.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day. The RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
This is Tyler Ankrum. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
.27 laps to go here at the Monster Mile. Race leaders navigating lap traffic on the racetrack. Last time the trucks were on pit road, lap 120, setting up an 80-lap run to the end. Let's get a sweep of pit road, check in on some of the teams as far as fuel and tires. Steve Post, we'll start with you.
The call just went out on Ross Chastain's radio. Pit this time. So he's going to come down 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. Everybody else is right on the mark, and that doesn't mean they have a lot of extra. They're right on the mark. It's a matter of what they did during that caution period, what they did when they went back on the racetrack on the fuel, as well on the tire savings. Chris Wilner, what are you hearing?
Yeah, for William Sawallich, Steve, who runs inside the top 10, Seth Smith, the crew chief, about 10 laps ago said, I need you to save me at least 5 laps. Just at the end of the straightaway, you have enough of a gap to those in front of you and those behind you that you can do so. And then about 2 laps ago, spotter Tab Boyd said you are clean and green to go the rest of the way. So I think it was just more for added insurance just in case we get an overtime restart. But William Sawallich given the green light to try to run down Brandon Jones and the rest of the top 10.
Well, if the team has radioed to Ross Chastain to tell him to pit this lap, I don't think he got the message. He stayed out there. Ross Chastain's continuing to motor right along here, Mike.
Here he comes. He'll crack the throttle. He'll jab the brakes, pull the truck onto the apron, and Ross Chastain will come down pit road at lap 177. Pit road speed here at Dover, 30 miles an hour. The pace truck and pace car runs 35. But that 30 miles an hour is what Ross Chastain will have to navigate, because the last thing he wants or needs right now is a pit road speeding penalty, either too hot coming in or too hot leaving pit road. Here he comes. He's inching closer to his pit stall. Let's cover the Ross Chastain stop with 22 to go.
You guys talked about it. This pit road is tough to get on, and he was in a big pack of traffic and didn't want to wreck anybody up. Here they are on the pit road. Brian Eastland is the front tire changer. Jordy Braden is on the rear tires. Carrier on this one is McQuell Phillips, so they got the tire change. Fuel is engaged back there in the back of it. 4 tires off. Jackman, Corey King drops the jack, and Ross Chastain is down and away.
Parker Eatman is off the pace off turn number 2. He's got everybody jumbled up on the back straightaway, Brad. Hold your breath moment for a lot of trucks there.
Yeah, big time. Remember, Eatman was on the same fuel strategy as his teammate Ross Chastain, so he'll come to pit road. This is allowing Caden Honeycutt to get closer to Lane Riggs as they head back toward 1.
Yeah, Lane Riggs and Caden Honeycutt trying to weave their way through all of that Alex described, and even more lap traffic. Basically, Brad, it was a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series version of Frogger on the backstretch a lap ago.
It was, and now Honeycutt has caught Lane Riggs. He'll dive to the inside. They'll race door to door off turn number 4.
Right there is Honeycutt to the inside, but a big wiggle off the nose of that truck. He'll have to roll out of the throttle. Lane Riggs will get away and at least have a stay of execution to hang on to that position.
Lane Riggs has done a great job of working his way up into the front. He's in 3rd right now. He might be doing a better job of preserving that spot, as he is doing everything he can to block Caden Honeycutt. 2 truck lines separate them.
Lane Riggs, bottom of the racetrack, turns 3 and 4. That will force Caden Honeycutt to go lane shopping off the turn. He'll go about a lane higher on the racetrack. We're describing the race for 3rd and 4th, 7.8 seconds behind the race leader.
It's lane choice right now for Caden Honeycutt. He can see what Lane Riggs does, but Riggs is anticipating what Honeycutt wants to do. This time Honeycutt takes the bottom. Lane Riggs opened up a half a lane for him.
Meanwhile, behind them, challenge and change for 5th. Ben Rhodes cut the spot away from Christopher Bell, but we keep all eyes on this ongoing fight for position number 3 with 17 laps to go.
Peyton Honeycutt back on the tailgate of Lane Riggs. They jump up off the banking onto the back straightaway. Riggs is able to pull away ever so slightly with cleaner air in front of him, but Honeycutt will continue the chase.
While this race occurs coming out of turn number 4, Kyle Busch is already midway between turns 1 and 2. He is checked out by 2 full seconds over Ty Majeski with a couple of lap trucks in betwixt and between. But Alex, Kyle Busch is going to have some more work to do and more lap trucks to deal with.
Yeah, he is, and there are 3 of them lined up in front of him, including Minnie Tyrell, who is in that mix. Brendan Butterbean Queen is up there as well, and Kyle Busch has no choice. He's going to have to deal with them. He may have to do it right now, Brad.
Yeah, he's looking to the inside of Minnie Tyrell right now, and Kyle Busch can pretty much go anywhere he wants to on the racetrack when he gets around lap traffic. Tyrell knew he was there. He opened it up wide for Busch on the bottom.
Steve Post, what is the in-truck communication like with the race leader right now?
Kyle Busch was just told, save me a little bit of fuel. I think we're all right, but save me a little fuel. They also acknowledge that the Ty Majeski truck appears to be fuel saving. What they're telling Kyle Busch is the margin back to Ty Majeski. So Kyle is going to modulate the fuel based on that margin back to second running Ty Majeski.
And it's worth revisiting. These lead lap trucks at the front of the field will last on pit lane on lap 120. That's an 80-lap run to the advertised distance without any caution flags, at least, as we're in the midst of our longest green flag run, currently at 57 laps and counting. Typically here with a Craftsman truck at the Monster Mile, you can go in the neighborhood of 75, maybe 76 laps on a full tank of Sunoco fuel. So everybody came to pit road with 80 to go. By the time they ran another caution flag lap or 2 to take the green flag for the restart, they are right on the number of potentially making it, Mike, or even running out of fuel.
Kyle Busch is saving fuel if you call a 1/10 of a second saving fuel. He's by himself on the racetrack, and he doesn't really need to press the point because with Ty Majeski in fuel saving mode and Kyle asked to do the same, he can afford to crack the throttle here or there, maybe roll out of the throttle, coast it into the corners. Obviously, Kyle Busch, being the veteran that he is, knows what he needs to do, but he has the real estate on the racetrack to work with, Alex. It's not like he's in a heavy pack of trucks where he can't afford to do any fuel savings at all.
And the luxury of being a NASCAR Cup Series champion and understanding the situation, certainly not rattled, not nervous, just understanding where he's at on the racetrack, the communication with the team, the communication with the spotter, and Brad, at the moment, he couldn't be any more by himself than what he is right now.
Yeah, the only thing that would slow down Kyle Busch right now is his right foot because he's going as fast as he needs to go. He's keeping good separation between himself and the next truck that could go a lap down, Chandler Smith.
Off the corner, the leaders will race back to the start-finish line. If you're a fan of Clint Boyer, things have gone south on that Ram entry. Matter of fact, Clint has pulled into the pit lane. He has gotten out of the truck, and he has climbed over pit wall, and his day will be done driving the free agent truck for Kaulig Racing and Ram. Here they come back to the line. When they get here, it's going to be 8 laps to go. The fastest truck on the racetrack, William Sawalich, back in 8th. It appears that everybody is in fuel savings mode. Kyle Busch across the line, all by himself on the racetrack, with Brad a lot of room to work with to the tune of half the distance of the front straightaway.
Yeah, one interesting thing I'm watching is Ross Chastain, who had to pit under green. It looks like he might unlap himself the honest way. He would need a caution for any hope of taking the checkered flag, but it's a lot of fun watching him carve his way through the field.
Yeah, here he is up off of turn number 4 after that green flag stop. In front of him is Dawson Sutton, who did the same thing. Dawson just came off the pit lane as well, and both of those trucks are going to the outside of leader Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch knows they're there, so Ross Chastain now unlaps himself on the racetrack. Kyle Busch will tuck in behind him. There is a pretty tight battle between lap traffic now hitting the front straightaway that Kyle Busch can get to.
Kyle Busch off the corner sees 5 make that 6 lap trucks directly ahead, the first of which is Ross Chastain. But right now, Brad, at least with 6 to go, he's not going to force the issue.
Kyle Busch does have the luxury. He has about 30 car lengths over Ty Majeski right now. Zero pressure for him, so he can let the lap traffic sort itself out as he races his way back through 4.
Getting a master class in managing the gap between yourself and the competition. Kyle Busch has 25, maybe 30 truck lengths, and that's it, but more heavy traffic on the horizon for Kyle Busch.
The good thing is Kyle has done a great job of weaving his way through. He hits the back straightaway, a little bit of lap traffic right in front of him. He gets the luxury of deciding where is Frankie Muniz going to go. Muniz goes to the bottom, Kyle to the outside.
Kyle Busch will step to the outside of the racetrack, 4 to go at the line. Ty Majeski trying to shut the distance down between himself and the race leader, but Kyle Busch has this race firmly in control, at least for now.
Lap traffic has calmed down in front of Kyle Busch, so he doesn't have to press the issue. You can almost start to see Ty Majeski now putting just a little bit more on his truck right now in fuel save mode, but as Kyle comes to the front straightaway, not much racing left.
No, 3 laps to go, as a matter of fact. That's all he's got to deal with. He'll go around the outside of Tony Breidinger, puts her black and white coach entry another lap down. Kyle Busch off turn number 2.
Kyle Busch will hit the back straightaway once again. He might actually have some side-by-side lap traffic in front of him, and that would be in the form of Butterbean Queen and Chandler Smith as they come back to 4.
These drivers that are tight on fuel, the last thing they want to see is a caution flag, because that would force us to overtime, and fuel cells running dry across the start-finish line. 2 to go for Kyle Busch as he heads for the backstretch.
Kyle Busch now will hit the back straightaway. No pressure in front of him, 0 pressure behind him as well. He'll drop his truck into turn number 3. Next time off 4, he'll see the white flag.
Ben Rhodes off the pace. He may be out of fuel on the front straightaway. Kyle Busch will come down to the line. Rich Keeter puts the white flag in the air. 1 mile remaining. Kyle Busch works his way back to turns 1 and 2 for the last time.
Kyle Busch now drops his truck all the way to the bottom of the racetrack in the banking of turn number 3. He will keep the lap traffic in front of him. He'll keep all the pressure off of him as he heads to 4.
Here comes Kyle Busch. Bottom of lanes, turn 3 and 4. Rocketing up onto the main straightaway. Drivers running out of fuel here and there, left and right. Checkers wave. Kyle Busch will win the Eco Save 200 at Dover Motor Speedway. Ty Majeski will come across the line in second. It'll be Lane Riggs in third. Caden Honeycutt finishes in fourth, and Christopher Bell in fifth. Let's go to pit road.
Brian Patty, crew chief for Kyle Busch down here. Crew celebrating. Brian, it's good to have a veteran like Kyle in every form. How about the fuel savings to get to the end on that one?
Well, yeah, he's obviously one of the best in the business, right? So it was a good day.
A good day, that's for sure. That's Brian Patty, crew chief, with yet another win here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Kyle Busch, the all-time winningest driver in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, just notches his 69th career win. Kyle Busch scores the win, presented by Sunoco Race Fuel with 0 carbon bioethanol. From fueling your favorite NASCAR teams to filling up at the pump, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
Well, hello everybody, Josh Birch here. What a fantastic truck race that was. Kyle Busch is victorious with Ty Majeski and Lane Riggs 1, 2 and 3. But Kyle Busch then takes victory at Dover. We'll see if that's going to be a more successful run when we go for the All-Star race. Maybe he can actually take victory on that. Sadly, that's the end of our coverage tonight. We haven't got time for a full post-race show. That is because we are actually, it's 20 past 12 in the morning here. It's 12:21 a.m. and we're all up at 5:45 to cover the opening practice session for Formula E. So we've got a bit of work to do. And, of course, IndyCar went long today. So I hope you all really enjoyed it here. Join us tomorrow for more coverage here from Dover. Just take care, everyone. Have a very, very good night. Happy Friday. And we'll see you soon. Don't worry, it's going to be a cracker. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.